All right, all right, all right. I saw Dazed and Confused this weekend, or no, this week rather, and I was fired up about it. Get to see all my old friends. Cause like when that movie came out, like '93, it felt real. You know what I'm saying? It was a big deal back in those days. What is going on out there? Everybody in the internet worlds, you are here for the Brain Drain, the AuburnSports.com post-game show after Auburn's bludgeoning of the Mississippi State Bulldogs by a score of 56-23. Kind of a weird final scoreline. Mississippi State got one in late. Auburn probably took the gas off a little bit there in the second half, but a bludgeoning nonetheless. And yeah, pretty much everything that even an optimistic Auburn person would say. That's what I'm talking about right there. Of course, the most important stuff of the night. What are we going to drink tonight? I'm going to be drinking this Maker's 46. I have not had this. I've had Makers a whole bunch of times. I'm sure you guys have as well. But I've never had the 46, and I was saving this for a special occasion. I was going to drink it with some folks that I thought might have come down to visit us, but I don't think they're going to be here. I don't think they're going to visit me. So I decided that this particular show is a good opportunity to break this bad boy out. So I'm just going to open this, and we're going to get this thing underway. Nothing quite like pulling off that red wax. And you know you're about to get into some Makers, yo. This was my drink of choice in college for sure. That back before bourbon really caught on is a big, big deal, you know? I mean, I know you guys are my age, probably drinking a little bit of Makers back in the day, but all this craft. Oh, come on, big boy. Come on, give it to me. All this craft bourbon, which makes my life great now. You didn't really have that back in the day. Oh, yeah. Nice little pour there. Tell me in the chat what you guys are drinking tonight. Hope we got some good pours out there, man. This is a good night for some Auburn drinking. AU Taxman says the 46 is really good. Awesome. Oh, I'm fixing to tell you right now. Ooh. Boy, it's a lot more refined than your typical Makers, although it does have some of that heat on the back end that you would certainly expect from some red label Makers. I don't even know why I call it red label because it's the only kind you can get now. When I was in college, you could also get a gold label, which I believe was 100 proof. Is that right, guys? They don't make that anymore. I guess this is 94, so it'll have to do. How about that? Josh says he's drinking Michelob Ultra. Oh, boy. Hope you, good for you. Hey, you taxman's drinking some Old Forester Rye tonight. Ooh, I love that stuff. Old Forester, back when I was young, man, that was like a budget-ass bourbon, but it's way better now. They really stepped up. Cody says he's drinking moonshine. There we go. Robert Tyndall says Old Granddad. I love that. Love it. Spider Chaw says he's drinking Bush Light. Bush Light, dude. Come on, man. This is a big day for Auburn. All right, I got to start the show here. I got to tape it because there's some folks who have been asking for me to tape the shows, and it's kind of a pain in the butt if I don't actually tape it. If I don't physically tape the show. And we are off on our brain drain. The pre-show has ended, and now we're going to talk football during the Auburn Tigers' big win, 56-23 over the dilapidated and left for dead Mississippi State Bulldogs, who I think they're a decent team. I really do. I think they're okay. I don't think they're great. I don't think they're terrible. I think Auburn started really fast and just had some really, really good ideas on how to attack Mississippi State, and it worked nicely. And I don't think Mississippi State throws the ball very well. They like to run the ball, and Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, Kenny Britt, Zacoby McClain, Nick Coe, they really don't like seeing other teams run the ball, and they did a hell of a job tonight, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got here. Phil says he's drinking Red Bull and whiskey. That sounds good. Sir Hiss, you're going to have to hold on, brother. You're going to have to hold on, my man. He was going to be the first call of the night, but I got to talk about some stuff before we start taking calls. That's the trick, although I do love Sir Hiss. Let's talk about some things from the game itself. Oh, let's go ahead and pull up the stats because I've got a PDF here. We can show you some quickie stats. And you can see that right there, 56-23. First downs, doesn't really matter. Auburn threw the football around a little bit tonight. 361 passing yards. Bo Nix goes over the 300-yard mark. 16 of 21 for 335, 2 touchdowns. I thought he was terrific. The long balls that he missed last week. Oh, he was on tonight now. He had a beautiful throw to Seth there for the touchdown to open the second half. That was as good a throw as you're going to see. That was an NFL throw, back shoulder throw with some touch on it. He also had some nuance to the other touchdown throw to Seth Williams, which, as I recall, was a smash concept. He had the corner. There was an underneath route that went outside. I think it was Schenker. And he kind of lofted it a little bit instead of rushing it. And, man, you could tell he's just getting better. I know Bo's got the ability to make some really awesome throws. I saw him do it all through his high school career. You guys did too. When he was in the camps, the 5-star camp and stuff, he was unbelievable with that stuff. And I think he's got to work on the timing a little bit. Not necessarily the timing of the receivers. It's the timing of getting the snap, setting his feet, understanding where his blocking's coming from, if he has to move and stuff. And if he moves, to not completely lose sight of what he's trying to accomplish with the snap. I think he lost it a little bit there in the second and third games, but I thought he did a nice job tonight. Yeah, Ed Darby says he finally got his feet set. You're right, man. He wasn't getting panicky at all. He's just calm, and he did it. Got it done. Bo Nix is a good player. There was some consternation, I thought, on the bunker where they were like, well, Joey should play more. And I'm generally a Joey Gatewood fan, as you guys know, but I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that I thought Bo was going to do, the stuff that he did tonight. And, yeah, he's a really good player. Joey had a chance to work there in the fourth quarter, although Gus kept Bo into at least one drive in the fourth quarter. It may have been 2. But Joey had a chance to get in there. And really, man, at that point in the game, I didn't feel like they were executing very well. But, they didn't have to. I think there comes a point where you've got a team just so beat down that it's hard to maintain. That peak intensity. Spider Chaw says, Bo was amazing. This is a really good performance, guys. This is really good. If he can do that, he's gonna be a bad man. He's gonna rewrite some record books because he's gonna be there for a minute. He's gonna be there for a while. Spider says, Jay, tell me where to go. I need to be on the show. We have a phone line, which I don't have on right now, and we're going to have folks calling in here before too long. And Sir Hiss was the first one through, and I just had to turn that off because I love Sir Hiss. I was glad to have him calling in, but I still got some things I got to work through. Let me put this up on the Twitter real quick and send out a tweet to let people know that we're doing this. Mm-hmm. It's a scintillating internet, I know. Uh-oh. Lost my link. It's part of live shows right here. That's what happens sometimes. And I'm an old. All right, there we go. Let's see. We got the stats up still. Anything really jump out here? Fumbles. Huge thing tonight. 4 fumbles for Auburn, lost 3 of them. Seth had a fumble. Booby had a fumble. Malik Miller had a fumble. And Shivers had a fumble. They lost 1. No, they lost 3. They got 1 back. Booby's fumble they got back. And, Booby had a 3 fumble game earlier in the year. He's got to work on that. That is not going to please Malzahn at all. Some other things that were on my list here. Great start, obviously. The actual start of that game was insane for Auburn. Absolutely insane. To have the defensive stand and basically push them back. Then you have a good return from Christian Tutt to get them to the 30. Then you stick it in, 7-0. That's as good a start as you're ever going to get. Second drive, MSU 47. They stick it in, 14-0. The ensuing kickoff return. They force a fumble, get the ball back on the 18, stick it in again, and it's 21-0, and you're like, game over. It was crazy. It's about as good a start as you're going to see. That I was asking people on Twitter what they thought when the last time Auburn had a great start like that, and they reminded me of the Arkansas game like 2 or 3 years ago. That's right. That was absolutely bloodletting too. But, yeah. It's a hell of a start, man. They were running, as you heard, if you were listening to Gus Malzahn's post game, they're talking about running that jet action into the boundary, which they don't usually do. They usually run Schwartz to the field, and we saw that against Texas A&M. But they ran against the boundary. Gus was kind of evasive when asked about it, but I bet you they saw something there that made them think they could overload that side and get it to work. And by God, they did it. Big time play. I did not include this on the Game Breakers that's on the front page of auburnsports.com right now. But the play where they had Mississippi State was at the 1, I think. Then they got a illegal procedure, took it back to the 5, and then they fumbled, and Auburn got the ball back. The game was still a little bit in doubt at that time. So that was a big play. You got the late hit / targeting against Seth. A lot of people on Twitter were fussed about that, and they thought that was definitely a foul, definitely a penalty, but not targeting. But under the new rules, it is. It's a defenseless player, and he led with the crown of his helmet. You don't have to go helmet to helmet anymore necessarily. That will get you one, but you don't have to do that. So Errol Thompson, boom, you're out, buddy. Nick's still playing in the fourth quarter. Surprised me a little bit. But, the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, he's a true freshman. They're going to need him a whole lot second half of the season. You don't want to take away reps from him. If that's Jarrett Stidham out there, yeah, he's not playing in that position. He's not going to be playing in the fourth quarter of this game. But I think it's different with Bo. And you say, hey, man, Joey's a freshman too. Yeah, and they got him in there. But I still think you need to get as many snaps to Bo Nix as you can reasonably. So I support that decision. I was also whining on Twitter about DJ Williams. It took a little while to get him in the game. But they did get him in eventually. And he didn't do much. But, again, it was at the point of the game where I didn't think they were really executing all that crisply. And it's hard to do. I mean, when you're up, whatever it was, 5 touchdowns at the time, it's just hard. Lewis says Narlaw put a huge hit on Schrader. Yeah, he did. And then Derek Brown got a couple in on him, too. Auburn Man says Gus is still too conservative. I understand what you're saying. He didn't do a lot of exotic, although he did have he was trying to do the reverse pass again. I was like, he can't not do it, right? Like, he gets ahead and he's like, we're going to run it. Let's do it. And, of course, it fouled up because it takes way too long to develop. But I think they threw a touchdown on the next snap, so nobody's going to care. How about that, huh? So Auburn's 5-0 now. Absolutely slaughtered Mississippi State, and they're going to go into Florida probably. I don't know what happened to all the teams ahead of them, but they're a top 5 team, just in ability and performance. I don't know. You know how it works. Everybody stacks it up, and did Oklahoma win and all that stuff, but Auburn's playing some really, really good football. Lewis asks if that UF fan is here tonight. He was commenting on some of my videos during the week, and I think it was just kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I had to ban him last week. James says he's drinking 1792 single barrel. That sounds good. I saw some of that the other day, and I just didn't get it. See, the problem is I have so many bourbons downstairs. My wife's like, don't buy any more. And there comes a point where I probably shouldn't bring any more home. That's a good one, man. That's pretty damn good. I would drink that. Of course, I am drinking it. What else we got to talk about here? I mean, it was pretty much open and shut case here. Auburn was much the better team and executed really, really well in the first half and put it away, and that's a wrap. I don't really know what else to say. Even the folks on the bunker who are generally anti-Gus, I mean, they had to give it up, man. I didn't think they took the win too hard. Liger's one of those guys, and he was saying some nice stuff. I think even some of the other stuff that he was saying, he was just kidding around. But if you're an Auburn fan right now, looking pretty damn good. I mean, they're overperforming what I thought. I knew they'd be good on defense. I mean, we all did. But I was like, Bo Nix, true freshman, offensive line. I don't know. Because I just didn't see the stars on the offensive line, and I think that's the case. But you've got to give Malzahn and Dillingham a lot of credit because they're scheming. They're using their offensive line in ways that kind of hide their lack of power. And they're giving everybody angles is really what it is. When they run that GT power, that gives Caleb Kim a down block, gives him a great angle, an advantageous angle. And the same thing for the front end guys that can kind of block down. It helps, man. It makes a big difference. It's a less challenging block. You've got to have good. You got to have a good pull and a good wrap from those guys coming around, but they're pretty good at that. And it works. I mean, the first play of the game was a GT counter. Took it to the house, 30 yards. And he kind of kicked the MSU Bulldog. Ben says, who's more handsome, Bo or Papo? Boy, that's tough. That just comes down to preference, I guess. If you're an offense or a defense kind of guy, I don't know. J.O. says, did Jalen Green commit already? Not that I know of. Jalen Green, of course. Yeah, and we need to talk about that, too. Huge weekend for Auburn basketball. To get a commitment out of Sharif Cooper, who is a, big-time point guard. A guy that Kentucky and Auburn and Duke and North Carolina were after. Kansas was trying to get in there a while back. And for those of you who pay attention a lot, mostly to football, basketball commitments generally don't change. So when, in football, a kid commits and you're like, how committed is he? In basketball, they commit and like 98% of the time, that's a done deal. So Sharif Cooper's going to play at Auburn. Almost certainly. And the fact that Jalen Green is on campus as well, another 5-star player, and Sharif has said, I'm going to be recruiting him very hard. They're going to have a great recruiting class one way or another. Even if Walker Kessler chose North Carolina the other day, which was very surprising to all of us. But, they're recruiting at a high level. I had a chance to go out to practice. I know I'm talking basketball a little bit here. On Tuesday, I think it was, maybe Wednesday. Can't remember. No, it was Wednesday. And, man, they're in pretty good shape. They have like a full complement of players now. They have 3 teams of 5, which if you guys remember back, God, it was like last year, the year before, Stephen Pearl was having to play on the scout team because they didn't have enough bodies. They got plenty of guys now, and they're all they're serious athletes now. When Stretch Akingbola is like your 12th guy, like you're doing a hell of a job. And Stretch almost killed me on a dunk. If you guys saw the video, well, I actually gifted it. I saw my life flash before me there. Josh asks, undefeated going into the LSU game. I mean, you got to think that. I mean, going on the road is a little different than playing at home for sure. But I don't think Florida's awesome. I don't. I think Florida's solid. I think they're fine. I think they're maybe half a click better than Mississippi State. Although I think Mississippi State is better than they showed tonight. But I think Auburn can definitely go down there and beat Florida. And then you got, let's see, is the Gus Bowl next? Or would that be, then you have the Gus Bowl in Fayetteville, and then you'd have the LSU game. And I don't really know what to tell you about LSU. They are a real pain in the ass on the offensive side. Defensively, I don't know. They gave up 30-something points to Vanderbilt last week. I don't even know if they're playing this week. I don't think they are playing this week, are they? Anyway. Spider Chaw, I don't know how to help you, brother. Help me out. I'll support. The website is a little what? I don't know what that means. Glad to have you here as part of the show, but we'll probably start taking calls here in a minute. Go ahead and fire it up and see what the folks are out there talking about. For those of you who are members of auburnsports.com, you guys know what the number is because I posted it in the bunker. I prefer to have our subscribers calling in because this is kind of a benefit to subscribing to auburnsports.com. If you're not a subscriber, jump on, man. I just told you where we're at, auburnsports.com. We got a great group of guys that cover the team. BMAT is up there right now doing stuff. Nate is there working as well. Jeffrey Lee's working on the recruiting angle. I was doing some basketball stuff because they were there today as well. The Final Four team was feted during the game. They had a bunch of recruits there, and obviously 2 very, very important ones. So we'll talk to BMAT and Jay Lee later on. For show. Let me communicate. Well, we'll take this call. First call of the night. We'll go ahead and take it. Hey, thanks for calling in. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Jay. How you doing?
What up? Who am I speaking with?
Harrington, video artist.
Hey, what's up, man?
Just about to be at my house. Had to run out to Target to grab a few things. Gonna finally sit down and have a drink.
You sound like you're
Four Roses and Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest.
You're living a domesticated life, my man.
Yeah, I am tonight.
What do you think about that win, dude?
That was a great win. Clearly, great things happened on both sides of the ball. You know what? The thing that bothered me tonight, the officiating was really sloppy.
Really? Tell me about that.
They just like they didn't see the first fumble on the like the refs on the field didn't see the fumble on the second kickoff. I think it was after Auburn scored 7 to go up 7-0, and then Mississippi State fumbled, and they didn't see it. The only reason it got, they saw it on video finally, but none of the refs saw it on the field. And the Seth Williams thing, when he got blasted.
Yeah.
I felt like the officiating was sloppy.
Yeah, the one
in a
on
weird way. They didn't. Go ahead.
The one on Seth, like they didn't call that on the field, which I thought it was an extremely obvious call.
Yeah, that was very strange. Even the one where they called the fumble on Seth Williams, they go to the video replay, and somehow the play, I can't remember what it was called on the field, but I don't know. The video replay guys in the booth were confusing as well.
Yeah, it tends to be that way.
So it looked like Seth Williams was down. But anyway, I guess back to the better topic. The Auburn win.
Bo Nix completing some deep passes and just generally being a badass. What about that?
Absolutely. It was really fun to see him be accurate tonight, throwing the ball. I really would like to see more of, and we saw it tonight, that the short passing game. We criticize Gus a lot for it. It's either bubble screens or deep shots that take forever to develop, but we're seeing more of the short passing game. Saw like a curl or hitch to Seth Williams. Saw a slant to Seth Williams.
Yeah.
Hell, saw Joey Gatewood throw a slant.
I know, man.
To Farrar, right? Yeah,
Zach Farrar. Yeah, and he got WWE body slammed after that.
Yeah, so maybe that's Dillingham. I don't know.
I tend to think it is. Not necessarily the play calls, but just reminding him that they need to stay out of ruts.
Yeah, you say that like every week now. You point out Dillingham is probably up there saying, Gus, remember to do this.
Yeah, and I think that's just that Gus loves Mike Norvell so much, the coach at Memphis, who's like was a protege of his. And Dillingham's kind of like his grandbaby in a way, his Norvell's guy. And I think he just kind of trusts him in a way that he wouldn't trust most people. So I think that's what's going on there.
Great point. The defense, the starters are playing great. I think the secondary is going to struggle down the road against LSU and Alabama. It just seems like maybe I'm being too tough on them, but I think one of the things that's going on, there's not a real speed rusher like a D Ford out there. I mean, the defensive line is playing great, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Big Cat needs to be better.
Exploit that either.
Yeah. All right, Knox. Appreciate you calling in, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
You behave yourself out there.
Talk to you soon.
See you, bud.
Bye-bye.
Good stuff there. Yeah, the pass rushing thing. They have the bodies. I feel like Big Cat, I feel like he's got the physical ability to be that guy. I mean, he does it some, but he just tends to, I don't know, he kind of comes and goes a little bit. And not his effort. It's just that, like, his effectiveness comes and goes a little bit. Just my thought. I was going to see if we get Doc Dumpsta on. I have to kind of run him down. We'll check in. I know he's interested in doing a show. Being part of the show tonight. We've also got a whole bunch of folks. Because last week, let's see, I called Doc. I called Stretch. I think I called Fig Jam. Getting that concierge service for our platinum members. And I think a lot of people felt like they should have been called as well, which, I don't know. That's only for special cases. Spider Chaw, what up, man? like I said, the number's on the bunker. So we'll see what happens. All right. Johnny B. Good says he wants Liger on the show. Listen, man, I hope Liger calls. Haven't heard yet. Haven't heard anything back from Doc Dumpster yet. To see what's going on. We'll take this call from 205. Let's see what's up. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling the show, yo.
What's up, Jay?
How you doing?
Howard, man. How are you?
Howard, man, coming in early tonight, huh?
Yeah. I figured I'd do it early tonight because I'm going to go to bed early.
No, you're not going to go to bed early.
Yeah, well, the Pac-12's on, so I might as well watch. But I figure I'll go to bed at a reasonable hour.
I bet you're in a good mood tonight, right?
You what?
You're in a good mood tonight with those Auburn Tigers beating that ass.
Yeah, that was good. And I thought it was a good get-right game. With Bo missing the big passes last week, I think that, like, if he'd hit one or two of those last week, then, we would have – then I think the team would have started to roll. And sure enough, he hit them tonight. And it was, it's what we think we can do. And I think I got into it with some of the on the bunker during the game that the offensive line, Gus is figuring out what they're good at.
Yeah.
And Harrell and Tega are going to be NFL players, and we're figuring out how to use them. And it's going to be, I don't know, get by Florida. We got to figure out Florida. We can't take them lightly because that quarterback's much better than Felipe, whatever his name is. But
Felipe Franks, yeah.
Get by that one, and I think it's got a fun. It can be a lot of fun.
The thing I think tonight is, you saw Bo Nix take a step forward, and like you mentioned, he missed a lot of throws last week. This week, no, he hit him 16 of 21 for 335 or whatever. So, if he's going to continue this maturation, and he's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. Yep. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And it looks like it might be sooner rather than later.
And I think Gus took the training wheels off a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I definitely am seeing more complicated reads than I did a month ago.
And Schwartz changes the game. So I think it was in the third quarter when we went up. It was one of the big scores, like it went up a big number, but we went unbalanced. Bo was at quarterback. Schwartz went opposite the side to the strong side, and they gave it to Booby, and he ran for a touchdown. And the whole defense reacted to Schwartz. He changes the game.
Yeah. As Hal Baird used to say about Bo Jackson, he changes the geometry of the game. I think Schwartz is so fast that you have to change how you go side to side, and you leave yourself open to stuff that you wouldn't have if it was a regular mortal runner out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But looking ahead, we got to figure out the RPO thing if Alabama's going to come to town.
Well, I got a few months before that happens. But hey, it is notable, I think you're right that you're not taking Florida lightly. I think some other people are. And like you said, you got to get by Florida. You got to figure that out and at least get to the Gus Bowl.
That's a real scary one.
I know it's a road game and it's a loud environment.
Yeah. And we're going to be playing like our guys. Texas A&M was a good test, but Florida's different. I went down there. Big Jam got me beat up down there. So
he does that to people, man.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'll let you get to other callers. I wanted to call in, let you know that I say hello to you. And,
all right, man.
I thought it was a huge win. I think it was a huge stride, and I thought that I expected it, which was good. But I think Bo is doing the right things, and I think come November we're going to be a force.
I agree. Power man, you behave yourself out there, bro.
All right, man.
See you,
bud.
See
you later.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll go straight to Sir Hiss, who's calling back in. He was actually our first caller tonight. Sir Hiss, what up, bro?
What's going on?
You were our first caller, and I just wasn't ready to take calls yet, so I'm glad to be able to work you in.
Yeah, 40 minutes after, well, probably about an hour after the game now.
Look at you giving me hell on the timing, bro. You've got to be in a good mood, right?
Calls 45 minutes after the game.
Hey, you're in a good mood tonight, though, right?
What's going on tonight?
Well, I'm drinking, and we're talking about the Auburn Tigers beating that ass.
What did I say last week? Go ahead and tell me what I say about the Auburn record.
What'd you say?
You know, 15-0.
Man, is this tough? I mean, I know you like seeing Auburn win, but is it tough on you? Because you've been kind of a poo-pooer before. You've been a guy who's shit on Gus a little bit, and I mean, are you on board now?
I hate the motherfucker, but
Whoa, buddy, you can't talk like that on the air.
this ain't the real radio. We ain't got the real radio people on us.
But I know you've been down on Gus, and you have legitimate reasons for being that way. But does this change at all? This 5-0 run?
Man, I'm in Auburn today. First time I've been in Auburn all year, and I am very, very excited about how we came out and just beat the shit out of them.
Well, they got knocked around pretty badly. You're right.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm about to get dropped off downtown, but I want to give a shout out. Say I think that Auburn's about to go undefeated. I think that Bo Nix is about to go on a Trevor Lawrence run, and I don't think Alabama's that good. I really don't think Georgia's that good. I think LSU's probably going to beat us. My dad's never been down to Red Stick, so we're going down there this year for him.
Word.
He before he gets too old to go down there and do anything fun, we're going down there. It's his one wish. So I wanted to call in, say hello. Hope you got some. Hey, that guy that posted on the bucket that said that there was some Weller Antique down in on Exit 18
At the Frisky Whiskey,
I
yeah?
think he should be banned.
Why?
Because there was never any Weller Antique.
Maybe it got sold out, bro. I mean, that stuff's everybody wants that.
What liquor store was it at?
Probably Frisky Whiskey, I reckon.
I mean, it might have been, but
What have you been drinking tonight, Sir Hiz?
well, I actually bought a pint of Jim Beam.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a good go-to.
That's my Auburn football go-to when I go to the games.
Yeah, that's a good.
But I mean, shit, Frisky Whiskey. My buddy's family owns that shit. One of my French brothers' family owns that shit. His grandfather, he's the Golden Child.
Yeah.
So we get all the good stuff from Frisky Whiskey, and I never heard anything about. They probably had some antique, but I mean, he calls us when they got the good stuff, and that's what we want. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think he should be banned
Okay, I will take that into consideration.
for a week.
Sir Hiss, I want you to be good downtown and have a good time, all right?
All right, we're going to Southern.
See you, bro.
The Southeastern.
All right, man. Behave yourself. He gone. Sir Hiss, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take this call right here, 720 area code. What's up? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing all right. Tate, love the feature.
Hey.
Love the feature.
Who am I
brother.
speaking with?
Absolutely love it. But
Who am I speaking
this
with?
is BBT,
Word.
Biscayne Bay Tiger, brother. How you doing
What's
tonight?
up, Biscayne? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I'll tell you what. Feel fantastic after tonight's win. But the reason I want to call you, I want to talk about how this schedule sets up.
All right.
But prior to doing so, I want to preface it with this. Tate, does this season not feel somewhat familiar to you?
I'll
I'll tell you what, man.
they're building.
Particularly under Gus. These seasons set up in this manner. The team feels like they're going through a round of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out here. Each game sets you up for the next competition. We started out Texas A&M, difficult road test, right? Not overwhelming. Not something that's insurmountable, but tough, difficult road test for the young freshmen. We move on from that, come back home. We got to work some things out on offense. We do that. Next, we have a really difficult road test, which I think is going to be that defining win for this team. The defining win, we look back at like 2013. I think we felt like, coming out of that LSU loss, right after that, we had some defining wins that really shed some light on how good that team was going to be. Really created some believers out of a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I think that we're teetering on the verge of accomplishing that this year, as Florida once again sets up really well for LSU. And then, of course, you come back home. Even if you stumble against LSU, I think a win over UGA, a win over Alabama, it puts you back in the mix.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the LSU game, considering the work that they've done, let's assume if they beat Florida, then I think their little road trip's going to be fine. You know, we had that 3-game run, the A&M game, this game, the Florida game. They had to win 2 of those 3. They have won 2 of those 3. I think they're going to beat Florida. So I think the LSU game isn't necessarily a must-win at that point. And you're right. You'd rather have Georgia and Alabama at home. You feel like you could do some damage. And if they keep getting better as they've been doing, they've got a really good shot to beat Georgia and Alabama, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? I'm seeing improvement across both lines. I mean, the defensive line came in proven. However, we are seeing them up their game each week. And then, you know, what I was really pleased with, you brought up schematics tonight, and some of the strategies we've been employing across that offensive front. And you know what? To be honest with you, I saw some improvements not only in the play calling and how we set up the linemen for success, but in addition to that, I saw an improvement as far as aggressiveness, push, as well as fundamentals across that offensive line. And look, I'll tell you what, we're improving each week. And the one area where I would really have some discussions with the team next week if I'm Gus. I'm really getting in their ear, and I'm getting in the ear of my running backs coach, Cadillac Williams. We've got to clean up some of these fumbles.
Yeah.
That's going to cost us at some point this year in one of these big games, should we have a fumble at one of those defining moments. So we got to clean that up.
4 fumbles is way too many. I know they only lost 1. Or I'm sorry, they got 1 back, so they lost 3. But good God, that's way too many. We got a guy
absolutely.
We got a guy in the chat that says, "Hey, Biscayne,
appreciate you having me on. Hey, one tip though, brother.
Yeah.
Having someone screen the calls and place us in queue with some nice music, that would be really nice.
Okay.
And love the feature though, bud. I'll be calling in sometime in the future though.
Appreciate it, Biscayne. Be good, buddy. Glad to hear from some different folks, man. You know, it's not always the same 2 or 3. Biscayne Bay Tiger, a voluminous poster, somebody who's on the bunker a bunch. Sometimes is controversial, then other times isn't. So just kind of depends. But John had a good point. He said Biscayne has that, quote, try to involve you in a pyramid scheme voice. Yeah, I kind of got that feeling too. Although he did not ask me to be part of his Ponzi scheme. We'll say that. Garris says this call-in show is genius. Thank you very much for saying that. I think this is week 5 for us. I think. And we're just trying to make it better every week. No doubt. Let's see. Janice says Seth rocks. Yeah, he's a bad man. The common thought was that this is the best single receiver that Auburn's had since Ronnie Daniels. I think that the guy from Clint Mosley's friend, I forget his name, Sammy. I thought he was really good, but he dropped too many passes. I just missed that damn call because I couldn't remember Sammy's name. I always thought Sammy Coates was an insanely talented player. He just missed too many easy catches. But Seth doesn't do that. Let's take this call from 334. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling in, yo.
JG, my man, what's up?
What is up? How you doing?
Oh man, hey, after that game, you got to be doing good, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm in a great mood. I bet you are too.
Yeah, extremely. And listen, I Jaywalker 72, by the way.
Oh, of course, I knew. I was already typing it in.
I seriously was not going to call tonight. I was not until I heard Sir Hiss, and I thought, probably maybe it'd be a good idea to have a sober caller who was not going to drop F-bombs on you. So
he said a bad word. I think he said an MF, but that happens sometimes.
Yeah, he did. He was interesting for sure. Hey, you made a comment though with him. You said, and I think quote that you really thought that Bo Nix took a step forward tonight. And
I did, yeah.
Of course, totally agree with that. Totally agree. But here's something I thought. I think Gus took a step forward tonight. I saw some things tonight that that I think we've all been wanting to see. We finally got to see in the fourth quarter him do the things we wanted him to do. Pull out Nix. Let's put Gatewood in. Let's let him run the offense. He got to throw the ball. We finally got to see DJ Williams. We saw an aggressive game plan from start to finish, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Are we finally seeing the emergence of Gus getting that experience, learning from his mistakes, and taking a step forward to the point where we can kind of begin looking forward to having a coach that really gets things done?
Yes, to some degree, yes. I'm still just skeptical, man, because I've been watching it as long as you guys have, as far as Gus has been, and I know, man, I've seen it happen where he gets hot, and then he starts doing weird stuff, and he gets in weird ruts. Now, I think that Dillingham is the guy that keeps him from getting in ruts. I think he's the guy who calls down on the horn and says, "Hey, bro, we got to get away from this. Let's do something else," because it's just happening too frequently now where it didn't before. And I think he trusts Dillingham. So maybe that's going to be the key. But listen, we've seen this story before. I mean, Malzahn has gotten himself in some ruts before. And when they play LSU this year, when they play Florida, will they do it again? I don't know.
Well, it's a great question because, seeing it for as long as we have, it's kind of hard. You have to fight that, the whole idea that, well, we're really just waiting on the old Gus to show back up. I don't know. I'm just so hopeful that maybe finally he's learned and he's taken that step forward. One of the things that we've griped about for so long, at least I have, and several others, is personnel decisions. We've been aggravated with the play calling and those things, but I think personnel for me has been the biggest hitch.
Yeah.
We all want to see him play the best players, and we know that. As I mentioned, I think in my first call, that I'm sure there are things that we as casual viewers that we don't know, and I get that. But I'm really, really hopeful that he's taken a step forward here because, good gracious, you look what we've got left. I mean, everything looks positive now, but with our schedule, we've got to have Gus at his best for us to have any kind of shot here toward the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be brutal. I mean, LSU, Georgia, Alabama to finish out as far as the big SEC games. Yeah, you're going to have to be on your game. But here's the thing, man. I mean, what's been going on here lately makes you think he's going to be up to it and that Bo's going to continue getting better and he's not going to be the weak link. So, I mean, at that point,
right,
you've got to like where things are playing out for Auburn.
Oh, how can you not, man? I mean, if you're a true Auburn fan, you've got to be excited about this because honestly, I'm not thinking that we're where we are right now. I'm thinking that I was thinking before season, I was thinking 8-4 was going to be our ceiling. And I'm not so sure now that, that may not be the basement if we keep growing and keep improving and if we stay healthy. That's a big key right there. We've got to have these guys stay healthy. But, hey, one final thought too. In seeing both Georgia and Alabama, because I've seen it posted before, people say, and we say this a lot, well, Bama's not, I don't think they're as good this year and all these kind of things. But, in watching them a little more closely this year, I'm not so sure that's not 100% true. Now, them being not as good means they're still better than most everybody else.
Right.
But, if we keep improving, we keep taking those steps forward. If Gus continues with his aggressive style and he keeps playing, getting these playmakers in, getting the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
I think that we could see something special here, like 2017. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
I really don't think they're quite as good as they have been.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, we got to keep that open. I mean, they're playing good football at this point, so there's no reason to kind of, try to look for a dark cloud in the sky. They're playing good football.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, before I let you go, man, let me give a shout out to my son. He finished up a big job in Montana, and he is headed home, man. Very excited about that. Going to get to enjoy the second half of the football season with him here. So drive safely, bud, and have a great show, Jay. It's great talking to you.
All right, Jay Walker, be good, man.
Thanks, bud.
See ya. I think that's our first caller shout out, which he is certainly welcome to do. Glad to hear that. Jay Walker's son coming back from Montana after long stay up there. Let's see what's going on the phone here. Somebody was trying to get me. Who? I can't tell. You guys got me on that group chat. I can't tell who I'm talking to. Let's see. I'll call you. I can't tell if this is Stretchy Poo or if this is Doc. Okay, we're gonna call Doc. Let me give him a call. Y'all can't hear me calling him, can? Yeah, y'all can't hear the numbers coming through here. Sorry, I gotta type this up. Give him a call. See if we can catch up with Doc. Doc Dumpster, obviously one of our Hall of Fame posters. I'm glad we can hear that ring. That's key. Uh-oh. We're not going to get him? Uh-oh. So we're going to strike out with Doc. That sucks. Dadgummit. Come on, Doc. What you doing? Garrett says, what are you drinking, JG? I'm drinking a Maker's 46 tonight. I know it's not a real big bottle, but so that's 94 proof Maker's Mark. It's definitely more it's well behaved relative to the usual red wax Makers, which I find harsh. Let's take this call right here. See what's going on. Hey, thanks for calling in. How you doing? Hello? He gone. We'll take this next call from 706. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling in, yo.
Hey, caller, how you doing? That's how the entrance I kind of wanted.
Hey, is this Lewis?
No, it's not. Is that cool? Can I still stay on? I mean, I'm not a VIP or platinum member, but
No, I feel like I know that voice. Who am I talking with?
you're talking with G.SS.
Is that true?
Yes.
All right. How you been, man?
All right, yeah. There's just too much positivity going around. I consider myself a full-time member of the Doom and Gloom Club.
You are
until
indeed.
the national championship is won.
Yes.
So, I've got three things.
Yes, sir.
Number one, fumbles. I guess
Horrible.
the only way you get in the doghouse for fumbles now is if you're a true freshman. Because if you're booby and you've played before, hell, fumble as many damn times as you want. You're still going out there. That's one issue. Harold Joyner, did we even see him tonight?
I don't think so. I was looking for him.
He fumbled last week.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's that. I don't think Gus likes him as a ball carrier.
Fine. Okay. I'll give you that one. All right. We'll forgive everything because it was a blowout. Everyone was a little not concentrated. Okay, I'll give you the rest. Second thing, offsides. When they get someone offsides, is the point just for Knicks to roll out and die off an edge rusher every time and just throw it up 20 yards out of bounds? Because that's pretty much what happens every time.
You mean on a free play?
Like when they're on offense and they get someone to jump off sides.
Yeah.
The whole gimmick of let's just, the O-line's not going to flinch. We got the D-line, but they're going to go tee off on Knicks. What do you think about that?
They could probably manage that a little bit better. I mean, I'm not expecting Aaron Rodgers out there, but yeah, they could probably handle it a little bit better.
Run a play. Let the receiver get more than 15 yards down the field.
Yeah, I hear you.
And let them gun it out.
Now, I mean, listen. Hey, I understand you got some complaints about it, but I mean, there were some things about the game you were happy with, right?
Yeah. The reason I'm pointing these little things out is obviously there wasn't that much to point out, if we're being honest. I'm just getting at the nitpicky stuff. So obviously, it was a good game overall.
Yeah, I mean that was a
game.
Yeah, they absolutely killed those guys.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I was in the camp of Gatewood, and all right, I'll back down on that now. He looked like a beast. Nick showed out tonight.
No, he did. He played great.
Hitting on those deep balls, and yeah, it's a whole different offense once those deep balls are getting hit.
Yeah, he was terrific tonight. I mean, he ran the ball well, threw the ball well. I thought he made really good decisions. Listen, man, Bo Nix is a beast. It's just taking him a little while to get used to it, and he's going to have some lapses, but we can see tonight he's putting it together, man.
Yeah. No doubt. And the third thing, honestly, I was going to save it for a post because this is going to create some absolute rustlage. But screw it. I'm going to say it. This has nothing to do with Gus. It has to do with Rodney Gardner.
Uh-oh.
Can he recruit? This is. I mean, everything was D-line's great, but can he recruit an edge rusher?
I mean, Big Cat's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, he jumps offside a little bit too often.
But has he recruited a good edge rusher at Auburn?
Yeah, sure. Did he recruit? Did he recruit D Ford?
Do you consider Jeff Holland his guy or Will Muschamp's guy?
Yeah, that was probably more of a Muschamp guy. I was kidding about D Ford. I mean, Big Cat's pretty good. I don't know. He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
That's the only thing. Because if this defense had a Jeff Holland, a D Ford, a Carl Lawson, it would be one of the best things on earth, I feel like. But
yeah.
Again, I'm splitting hairs. It was a great game.
Yeah,
I can't be too mad.
I know you're happy. I know you're happy to see him at 5-0.
You gotta represent the doom and gloom crowd after everyone was so positive at the beginning. I had to get on and kind of bring everyone back to earth just a little bit.
That's good. That's good of you. I'm glad you're out here representing.
But all right, man, I appreciate you taking my call. You keep doing your thing.
I appreciate you being part of the site, man.
Absolutely.
We'll see you, bro.
See ya.
Let's see, my man Matt Crouch, who's my buddy. What do you drank tonight? I'm drinking Maker's 46, bro. I know my man Matt. I don't want to give up any secrets, but that guy has a better bourbon collection than I do. So I know Maker's 46 is probably just working class bourbon for you, Crouchy. But I'm telling you, Matt Crouch is the most incredible bourbon selection, and his wife too. The most incredible bourbon selection I have personally ever seen. And I mean, I feel like I've seen a few. I also wanted to mention, we've got some calls coming in. We actually have 3 calls coming in right now. I think it was Biscayne mentioned Punch Out earlier, where every bout kind of set up the next bout, which is, well, first of all, a really good idea. I mean, that's an intuitive comment. But it also reminded me of the actual Punch Out, because I loved playing Punch Out. That was like my favorite video game. I'm talking about stand-up video games. I mean, you start off with Glass Joe, and you got what? Well, the names were different on the NES. You had Piston Hurricane. You had Kid Quick. You had Mr. Sandman. You had Pizza Pasta, which I think was just NES. Then you had the dude who was like from India or Pakistan that would like fly around in circles. Those guys were hard, man. You had to get your timing down. I still love Kid Quick though. I love Punch Out. That was my jam totally. I would never beat Mr. Sandman though. I'd get to Mr. Sandman like, let's say 1 out of every 5 games maybe, and then he'd beat my ass, and I never got over it. It happens sometimes. I still got a lot of calls coming in. Sorry guys, I was just trying to riff there a little bit about Punch Out because it makes me happy to do that. And we had GS Toss on here talking a bunch of trash about the team. I mean, they won, and he's still kind of mad, but I think he's just kind of representing the D&G crowd. We're going to go ahead and call Jay Lee. I want to get him on the horn. He's been chasing those basketball recruits, and I don't know if you guys saw in the bunker, he had an incredible picture of Sharif, BP, and Green together. It was absolutely hilarious. It was one of the best pictures I've seen in a while. So we're going to call Jay Lee now and see what's up. I'm going to try to prank him too, although he's going to know my number, isn't he? If you guys remember who've been watching the show, like 2 weeks ago, we took him totally off guard. Yeah, who this, man? Is this Jeffrey Lee?
You call him before 11, so I will allow it.
How you been, bro?
Man, I've had a pretty decent day. How about yourself?
Well, I'm sitting here drinking some Maker's 46, but aside from that, just doing my thing. Who'd you talk?
Maker's what?
46.
Maker's 46.
Yeah, it's like their 94 proof version of Maker's. It's a little nicer, more friendly.
No, I love that. Good
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah, you put it in your mouth and it's all good. Tell me about some basketball recruiting. The folks on the chat want to know all about Jalen Green and Sharif Cooper and shit.
Well, they're here. I saw them with my own 2 eyes.
Well, that's good.
Obviously, they got a big commitment last night. Wasn't expecting it to be so early, but Sharif got on campus, and not long after he did, went ahead and got it out of the way, which, we've been waiting on for months now. So it was a good start to the weekend. He actually said, I got him on the phone shortly thereafter, and, he said he's going to be working on some guys, including Jalen this weekend. Him and Jalen were on the sidelines today with Bruce and all hugged up and chatting it up. It looked like it was going really well. Jalen even acknowledged that tweet I had during the game of him and Bruce and Sharif. I think it's understood that Memphis is going to be tough to beat for Jalen when it's all said and done. But I'm anxious to see what Jalen says tomorrow morning when he leaves his visit. That'll be the first time I'll actually get to talk to him. So curious to see what he says. I'll have that story up as soon as I get through talking to him, and we'll see where Auburn stands.
No doubt. And, of course, the big news this weekend is that Sharif Cooper, the 5-star point guard, committed to Auburn, I think on Friday. Is that right? Was it yesterday?
Friday night, yeah.
That's I think you were saying that's the biggest recruit ever, like in this era of Bruce Pearl, certainly, that Auburn's ever gotten, right?
Yes. Higher than Mustafa Heron, Austin Wiley, Isaac Okoro. I'm trying to think. There are 4 5-stars that had signed with Auburn in the Rivals.com era, all under Bruce Pearl, and of those guys, Sharif was the highest ranked. So since Rivals began the rankings in 2002, Sharif, number 16 overall, is the highest to ever commit to Auburn. So kind of shows you, and of course, number 3, Jalen Green's on campus this weekend for an official visit. And, there's been numerous top 50 guys come in for visits over the past few weeks. It's just a new brand of basketball recruiting that folks, including myself, aren't used to.
Yeah, Sharif's obviously like super elite. Basically took Auburn over Kentucky. And I was telling him earlier in the show, Jay Lee, that like in football, a lot of times commits kind of bounce around. Maybe they're going to be a soft commit or whatever. But in basketball, basically once you commit, that's where you're going, right?
Yeah, it's done deal, man. That's why I love it. It's over. These guys don't flip flop. The only time we've ever seen a flip flop, of course, besides the aisle number 9 at Walmart, was old cuz that went to Kentucky because of Chuck Person deal.
E.J. Montgomery, yeah.
Yeah, and that's an anomaly in basketball recruiting to see a guy, change his commitment. So, and it makes it a lot more fun, at least for me, and I know it does for the fans too, because it's Sharif's committed, it's done. So he's going to work to flip some guys. I think the status of what Auburn's basketball recruiting right now is we saw Walker Kessler last weekend commit to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And, Auburn's backups are the number 8 center in the country, the number 10 center in the country, Jalen Williams and Cliff Omorubi. So, it's not like it's one-shot wonder with these guys. They've got, top guys ready to go. You're not going to get the 5-star number 1 center. You're going to get the 4-star number 8 center. So, makes it a lot easier to deal with when guys choose North Carolina, of all places, over Auburn.
Yeah.
And you're surprised.
Yeah. That's a weird – that tells you how far Pearl's taken this and his staff.
Oh, yes.
You get beat by North Carolina and you're shocked. Your thoughts on this football game tonight, Jeffrey Lee? The Auburn Tigers curb stomping the Mississippi State Bulldogs by a final tally of 56-23. Bo Nix goes for 300-something yards. Your thoughts?
That was the best first half of football that I think we've seen in a long, long time under Gus Malzahn. That first half was picture perfect. Bo Nix was hitting the passes that I told him he had to make. The ones that I could make, he didn't miss. What was he? I think he only had like 4 or 5 incompletions, didn't he?
16-21, yes, sir.
Yeah, 5 incompletions. He hit the passes that he'd been missing all year, and you saw the difference that it made. The defense was phenomenal. The only thing that I can complain about is when number 1 came in the game, what happened?
Yeah, they kind of
3-yard loss.
Yeah, I know you and I have been pushing that, right?
I just thought it was it was a good play design. I wish Bo would have been able to just throw it up and see what happens, but in the end game, it was a 3-yard loss, and I knew I was going to be able to chirp on that on this show. For all the haters on me dogging that package last week. I just thought it was funny. Joey comes in and they take a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, I mean, but that was a point in the game where they're up like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and it's just tough to kind of.
Yeah. I really was glad to see 3 get in the ball game there in the fourth quarter, I believe. I wish I would have seen him a little earlier. DJ Williams.
Yeah.
Kind of what he brings to the table.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you and I have both been pushing for DJ, and he got in there, and it was just kind of like, he had like 4 rushes for 3 yards or something. I mean, I was like,
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did not, man. He had a couple of 6, 8-yard runs. The ass was churning.
Let's see, 7 carries for 33 yards. So you're right.
Yes, he averaged 5 yards a tote, man. I like him, man. Now you know what? Booby played well. He ran the ball well. There was a couple of times where he was too patient and the holes closed up on him. But other than that, I mean, there's no complaints with that. I thought he ran the ball. I thought the play calling was phenomenal. The reason I know that is because most of them worked. I thought it was just a near perfect game for Auburn, all around.
Yeah, DJ. I know you like DJ because he has that big booty, right?
Yes.
One thing that sucked though, 4 fumbles, dude. Lost 3 of them.
Yes. I know Malik fumbled. Mighty Mouse fumbled.
Yep. Seth Williams
who
fumbled.
else fumbled.
Seth Williams. And Booby.
go.
Booby had a fumble, but they got that one back. I know that if you were coaching Jay Lee, you'd be really pissed about fumbles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
can't have a fumble.
No, I mean, you can't do that. Can't put the ball in the
Hey,
ground.
let me give you a quick little rundown of my post-game interviews. Caught up with a couple of recruits.
Yes, sir.
Tank Bigsby being one of them. He talked about his trip to Georgia last weekend. He's like, no big deal. Georgia's still coming, but he's not listening. He's set on Auburn. He's signing in December. He's going to be an early enrollee. He's locked in. He's going to be at every home game Auburn has. He twisted his ankle last week in a game, but he's okay. It's a lower ankle sprain. He'll be back soon. But yeah, I had a really good conversation interview with Tank. I also spoke with the ever elusive J.J. Pegues, the 4-star tight end from Oxford, Mississippi.
Yes. Who's
very difficult to get an interview with, but I tracked him down after the game and got him. Auburn still leads for him. He's going to be making a commitment, he said, in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I thought it was telling after he said that he's coming back to Auburn for both the Georgia and Alabama games, as well as an official visit in December. So I thought that was good news for Auburn. They're still looking for that tight end in this class, and had been hearing some doubts among the Auburn sources, at least, that maybe they didn't sit as high as they once did. But he pretty much said that Auburn's still his number one, and he's coming back 3 more times before signing day.
Damn, that's good news right there.
Big news. I thought those were your two big interviews. Also spoke with 5-star 2021 defensive back James Williams. Dude, man, this guy is pretty. He's 6'4", a junior, defensive back, 5-star guy from down in South Florida. Knows Schwartz real well. He came up. He's spending the night tonight. Had a really good time. Was really impressed with the game day atmosphere. Said he's coming back for the Iron Bowl. And Auburn's in his top 5. Still a long way to go with his recruitment, but Auburn certainly made an impression on him tonight as well.
That's pretty big right there. If they keep winning, I mean, it's going to help,
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, that was they had a lot of recruits there, a lot of star-studded guys, and to be able to put that game away the way that they did was, in all facets of the game, was impressive.
Yeah,
and will certainly go a long way in solidifying commitments, and as well as adding some guys to finish out this class.
Yeah. Jay Lee, appreciate you being on the show, bro.
Yes, sir.
You watch out for those.
Man.
Watch out for those helicopters.
Oh yeah, I'm looking.
All right, bro.
All right, peace out, homie.
See you, man. Jay Lee, the myth, the legend. Talking to Tank Bigsby, J.J. Pegues, James Williams, 2021 defensive back. Some studs had a chance to see that game unfold in real time, and if they were considering Mississippi State, I probably don't think they're going to be doing that anymore. Garrett said that was a show killer. Jay Lee was great. Jay Lee's always great. Kind of a hellraiser. Oh, we got a call coming in and see what's going on from the 205. What's going on, caller? How you doing?
What's up, JG?
Who I got on the horn here?
Flying around.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, you just posted like an hour ago. That was like your last post before you went to the phone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I think I was making fun of you, right? Like just for fun. But.
You was. But hey, I've got to give myself credit. It was a lamp. I predicted that Hill would have 44 yards, and I believe he had 45.
Ooh, that's a good
and
pick.
Auburn, like I said, Auburn made that ass quit.
Well, you were asking for a shout out, which I generally consider to be bad form.
I know you don't do shout outs when people request it, but I thought that was, when you predict that, I was 1 yard off.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you think this Florida game is going to be a big deal or no?
I don't. I'm loving what Gus is doing. It seems like he's changing the schemes each week. No, I'm loving what I'm seeing. It seems like he's scheming what the defense does. You've seen a lot of his schemes from different last week against A&M, and then this game, it's not every, it's just different stuff. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, they've definitely been doing some different stuff, and he changes it up every week. And I think that they've been, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't think their offensive line's awesome on an individual basis, but they've been kind of scheming up the way they've been running, giving those guys advantageous angles and helping them a little bit. That's what coaches should be doing.
I agree. We all knew just, it was going to take time for Bo Nix to connect those deep routes. It was only going to be, a matter of time when he was going to connect them, and now he finally has. And so, but hey, at the end, the fourth quarter, everybody on the bunker's been waiting to see what DJ Williams could bring to the table.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like everybody, he's got the build. He's shifty. He looks good. I was one of those. I wanted to see Shivers just excel like the, Michaela bro. But every time he tries to get to the perimeter. But just looking back at how Michaela run the ball, back in 2000, what was it?
10. 9 or 10.
2009.
He averaged like 9 yards a carry,
he
bro.
He just doesn't. He runs so stiff, and he's trying. That one play he tried to make it to the perimeter, and it just. I don't know. I think that I see a lot of receiver wise, like the 2009 Gus, where you can do a lot of the end arounds with Eli Stove and Schwartz.
Yeah.
But Shivers, I was hoping that he could do the Michaela bro, and it's just not there. But I'm hopefully we'll see DJ Williams a lot more.
Yeah, he was pretty good. My recollection of watching the game was it was just kind of okay, but then Jeffrey Lee made me look at the stats, and he had, as Jeffrey Lee said, 5 yards of tote. So it's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Flying around, I appreciate you being part of the show, bro, and being part of the site.
All right. I love you, Jay. I love Jeffrey, too.
All right. You be good.
You too.
See you, bro. Yeah, I was kind of pooping on flying around because he was playing for a shout out, and you know how I am about shout outs. Like me and B-Matt, and Jay Lee, and I don't know as though Nate does shout outs, but we kind of do them on our own. We don't need y'all to tell us who deserves a shout out. I'm gonna whoop some ass over that. Not actually, but you know what I mean. There was something on the chat here I wanted to point out. Garris says straight out of the bottle helps with reflux. Thanks a lot, Garris. I need something to help me with that. I don't know, straight out of the bottle, but I'm pouring it right into this little cup, and it's going straight down the throat from that point. We got this call coming in from 256. Let me take this one and see what's up. Oh, damn, I missed it. No, we got it. Hey, caller, how you doing? Thanks for calling in.
JG, how you doing, brother?
What is this? Who I got?
This is Gus lied to me.
Are you serious?
This is.
Appreciate you being part of the show, bro.
Man, appreciate what you do, man. Finally got in, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I know, man. But pretty much all the time I have two or three calls coming in, so I'm sorry I haven't gotten to you yet. Hey, thanks for being part of the show, though.
Yeah, man.
So what do you think about that game, bro?
So, man, I'm down here in Auburn, just left the game. I literally left shocked. You know, I thought we, had a chance to win, but I didn't think we would look that good. I think, Gus didn't hold back. I think offensively, he didn't hold Bo back. I think you saw some concepts that you didn't really see in the previous weeks. Bo looked good. Didn't really like the running backs putting the ball in the turf. That continued to be a problem, and it wasn't just Booby. But other than that, defense looked good. It was a great game. I mean, you really can't say anything bad about it. But there's a lot of good, some bad. So.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot of good stuff, dude. And the number one thing they did is beat that ass because they got up 21-0 before you really had a chance to even drink a beer. So, and that's how you do it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to see DJ Williams.
Yeah.
We've been really wanting to see him. I thought he looked good. I hate that he didn't get in until garbage time, but it was good that Gus got him in there. So that's surprising to see.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, man, I talked to Gus privately, and I'm like, you're not going to play DJ Williams, are you? You're not even going to give the kid a chance. And he was like, I'm going to play him, when I get a chance. And so he played him. And I guarantee when I see Gus tomorrow, he'll be like, told you I'd play him. I'm like, ah.
I got a question for you. I heard another caller mention this, and this is something that I've noticed too. I do think Garner does a good job of recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some good edge guys in the past, but I just feel like we're just not really getting a good pass rush. And I do think our DBs are good, but at the same time, if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, I mean, you're really putting those DBs, really up there on the island. And so, I mean, do you just think that just, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel like Big Cat is close. I feel like obviously he jumps off sides a little bit too much, but I think he's pretty good. And Marlon's not really that guy, but I think their attitude at this point is we're going to stop the run and we're going to bring blitzes because we trust our guys in man. And I know that Iggy got himself a sack tonight, and they also bring Tut in there quite a bit, pressuring guys. So, I mean, they've got a solution to that, but you're right. Jeffrey Holland was kind of like more of an anomaly than a standard procedure. I mean, they don't get a lot of good edge rusher guys. And, somebody brought that up earlier, and I think it's a good point. I just don't know. I feel like they're still pretty good anyway.
They are pretty good. I mean, they're very stout against the run, but it's just kind of troublesome to see that we bring a lot of blitzes, and I mean sometimes we get there, and I feel like, and you maybe know this more than I do, but a lot of our sacks probably come on blitzes, and it would just really just be nice to see a 4-man rush just get to the quarterback. I feel like if we're not getting to the quarterback on a 6-7-man blitz, that's where you see a lot of the DBs getting burned because, again, I mean, in the SEC, you have a lot of good talent. And if you're not getting to the quarterback, I mean, you're just going to get shredded, But it was a good game all around. I said, the offense looked really good. Defense looked good. Next week at Florida's going to be a big one. So I'm excited.
Yeah, are you worried about this Florida game, or do you think they're going to pretty much put those guys away?
I think, and I'm not just saying this, I think Auburn's going to win by double digits. If you look at Florida, I mean, their offense just doesn't wow me. I think this is a game where Auburn's defense is really going to shine. Now, Florida does have some good receivers, and that Tony kid who's really, really quick. They got Van Jefferson, who's pretty lengthy. So I think that, I mean that kind of scares me because they have good receivers. But again, this Trask kid, I think Felipe Franks going down kind of really helped Florida because I do think this Trask kid is better than Franks. So I just watching Florida, they just don't wow me. And again, Florida has holes in their defense. Their offensive line just doesn't really that good. So I think this is a game that Auburn's going to win. I think it's going to be a slow start. I think Auburn pulls away in the end. And like I said, we're just inching closer to that LSU matchup where Auburn and LSU could be undefeated.
Yeah, 2 undefeated teams. That would be a serious showdown right there in Baton Rouge. All right, Gus, lied to me. I appreciate you being part of the show, bro.
Yeah, man, appreciate what you do. Thanks for having me on the show. Finally got in. Have a good night, man.
All right, be good.
Yes, sir. See you.
Gus lied to me. It's a great name. One of my favorite names. We have some very, very clever names on there. Used to be a guy on there called Boo Red Team. I thought that was a good name too. I don't see him post anymore. He's probably changed handles. Let's see. So we got Jeffrey Lee. Let me see what BMAT is up to. I also sent Alan Green a text to see if he wanted to be on, but I haven't heard back yet. He's probably doing some stuff. I really like Alan Green. No, you guys don't necessarily hear about him very often because he prefers to kind of work behind the scenes a little bit. That's kind of his thing, but he's a really good dude, and he works. Believe me. I want to catch up on some chat stuff here. I try to keep an eye on it as the folks are talking, but I kind of have to listen to them and see what you guys are chatting about. Looks like you guys are just kind of fussing around that. Oh man, I did. Sorry, Brendan. I didn't mean to mess up your name like that. I said Brandon in the chat, and it was actually supposed to be Brendan. Sorry, man. Let's take this call from the 205. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling in, yo.
What's up, JG?
Word. Who am I talking with?
Captain Eagle Fly Good.
Captain Eagle Fly Good. Speaking of great names, man, how you been? Uh-oh. Tell me I didn't lose him. Captain,
Hey,
you still there, bro?
Hey,
Yep.
you there?
Yeah, you're kind of out. You must be out in the boonies driving or something.
Nah, man. Hear me now?
Yeah, where you at?
Somewhere on I-65.
Yeah, see, well, that's what I told you, bro. You're not like the middle of a city. Hey, how you feeling tonight, man? You happy with this win?
Yeah, man. You see that big damn bird flying out there?
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
That's inspiring, isn't it?
Really enhanced my game day experience.
There's all kinds of things that go into a game day experience. How did the band play? Did the Eagle fly good?
It's true. No, I think, tonight is it's a testament to what happens when you have beautiful young stallions like Chumo Kiki on the sideline. I miss them so much, Jay. I don't know what to do.
I know, man. It's going to be tough without Chum this year, right?
No, I was thinking about it last time we talked, and Gus is so frustrating because his offense and his general way of being is it's like a really inconsistent drug, like when it's good, he takes you on this like incredible trip.
Yeah.
And then when it's bad, you wake up in somebody's basement drinking Pedialyte out of a boot or something. And so I just need to know how he can be better more consistently, But it's a good time tonight, I tell you. I mean, Bo looks like a junior, so that's fun.
Yeah, he had a great game. He had a really, really good game. That's a big step forward for him.
So I think I can't remember what Knucklehead was talking about earlier, but I think if we had Jeff Holland or Carl Lawson, it would be maybe the best defense we've had this century. What do you think?
Oh, man. I don't know about that. I have to think about that a little bit. But, yeah, an edge rusher would definitely be appreciated.
I got takes, Jay. I'll give them to you.
Yeah, you obviously do. Unfortunately, you also have feedback, and it's making it hard for the show. But we love you still.
My bad. Well, hey, man, I'll catch you later.
All right, be good, Captain Eagle. Fly good. We love that guy. He's really funny. He has a clever name. He has good takes. Well, funny takes anyway, but he was having a lot of feedback. It's kind of messing shit up. And I've also got, I'm still trying to communicate with Doc Dumpsta. BMAT, let's see. He said he needed 5 more minutes, which was 2 minutes ago. So we'll pick up BMAT. Oh, he just tweeted out his story. Jeff Cheney says 2004 defense was pretty good. Yeah, that was the thing. I was kind of thinking about that 04 defense when he was like, if it was the best defense of the century. But see, he might have said since 2000, since that technically was the change of the century, which all it'd have to do is be better than the 04 defense. John Carolina says, JG, was Pat Nix secretly calling the plays into his non-sideline radio? I love the idea of that, though. Pat Nix. Pat Nix is a little more involved than people realize, though. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's like calling plays or anything, but he's a guy who I think a lot of times you're like, oh, Pat Nix, yeah, he's Bo Nix's dad. Like, he's more than that. He's more than that. He knows people. He's paid attention. I'm going to take this call from 205 before we get to BMAT. Hey, how you doing, caller? Thanks for calling in, yo.
What's up, JG?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Who I got on the phone here?
This is P. Beasley.
What up, man?
What's up, dude?
Another day in paradise.
Hey, I called in last week, and I know everybody's touched on it. Everybody's talking about how we have the lack of edge rushing tonight. You know, and we're kind of missing that guy. But I wanted to talk to you tonight is I wanted to get your take on Gus's play calling and how he's kind of learning Bo, and we see this pattern from Gus. You know, it takes him 4 or 5 games every year when he breaks it into quarterback, and I think we saw a little bit of progress tonight, like we saw from Cam in 2010 in that South Carolina game, and then, you know, we saw Nick Marshall against Ole Miss in 2013, but I think we saw a little bit of progression from Bo tonight in the passing game, and I think we saw him take that next step. And I wanted to get your take on it. It looks like Bo might be one of those guys that can actually go out and win us the game, and we can lean on him. Do you think he took that step tonight where maybe in the future we can lean on him against teams like Georgia, LSU, and Bama down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think what we saw tonight is symptomatic of a kid that's learning how to play this position. And the passes that he missed last week, he hit this week. I do think it's kind of weird that, if you ever notice this, when he throws the deep ball, they always have like an automatically installed like fake, even though there's nobody there to take the fake. Have you noticed this? That like on the throw to Seth tonight, which was kind of it's a beautiful pass. It was probably the best single throw of his entire season. He still does that little fake to the middle when there's nobody there. And I almost feel like it just kind of gets him set up like balance-wise to kind of make that throw, or the timing-wise. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's the little things that Gus is doing to try to help him be more comfortable, you know?
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And I don't know what it is with him, but I feel like it takes him 4 or 5 games to understand each quarterback skill set. And, you know, you saw it with Nick, you know, and when, you know, in 2013, when we had a bye week after the LSU loss, and then, you know, Nick, it's like the light came on. And I think we saw that with Bo, but I think a lot of it, you have to give Gus credit. He's shown a pattern of understanding his quarterback skill set, and then he applies it to his game plan. I guess we might be seeing something really good between those two. You know, and I think Kenny Dillingham has really stepped in and kind of been the moderator. And you mentioned that earlier. But I think there's potential, you know, for those two to continue to grow. But I like what I saw, and I think Bo can we can rely on him to maybe run up to 15 times a game, and to, you know, let him make big throws on 3rd down and 1st down, and take more risks. But, you know, I like what I saw tonight. I just think there's those two might have a good future in the next couple games. So, you know, we got to go on the road and play Florida. And that'll be a big test for both. So if both can perform well, I think next week, I think we could really get excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. I think Powerman said that as our second caller, that he's concerned about the Florida game. I think some other folks on the Twitter think that's going to be just an easy one for Auburn, and I think it's going to be a little more challenging than that. So
awesome. Hey, I know you got more callers, but you are a basketball savant, and if I can get a quick basketball question in for you.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that okay?
Hell yeah, of course.
All right, awesome. So, kind of looking at our lineup going in for next year, I want to see Austin Wiley really. I'd like to see him blossom. But in your opinion, do you think I truly believe next year with our lineup, I don't know what's going on with Austin Wiley. I think you're a little bit closer and you get to watch practice, and I love your basketball write-ups. But it just looks like to me like Anthony McLemore is just a better overall basketball player for the system that Bruce likes to run. And, I mean, do you see Austin Wiley taking that next step? Because I just think we play so much better when we put McLemore at center. And I think our team just operates better defensively with his versatility and his ability to run and stretch the floor and shoot threes compared to a throwback guy like Austin Wiley, who is who can run the floor, but is still kind of an old throwback player who has a post-up game and may slow down our offense a little bit. What do you see our lineup looking like at the 5 position going into next season? And I want to hear your opinion, and thank you so much, JG.
All right, PB, so you be good. See you, bud.
Thanks, brother.
All right, see you. I want to answer that question, though, talking basketball a little bit. So, yes, his point is a good one, that Anthony McLemore fits what Pearl wants out of his 5 a lot more than Austin Wiley because he likes transition basketball. I just don't know if this team's going to transition as much, certainly as the team we saw last year, or as much as he would like to see it. But Anthony's a guy who gives you a center. He can block shots. He can rebound. He's also a pretty good three-point shooter, although I think he's a little bit overrated as far as that goes. Austin is not a three-point shooter. Austin is like a 1980s era center. Back to the basket, back people down, baby hooks or hook shots or turnaround jumpers from 8 feet or 6 feet or 5 feet or whatever. He doesn't really fit, but he's a tremendously tall and long player. He has a good attitude, and he's the son of 2 basketball players. Like, you take him, but no, I understand what PB is saying, and I don't know if Austin at this point, with the injuries he's had, that he's going to be the guy that we thought he was going to be. I think at this point he's going to be a 15 minutes guy. He fouls too much. He can't stay in the game. I think he's going to be better about that this year because he knows this is the limiting factor for him. But I still see him as a 15-minute guy who plays, and he has like 5 good games a year. I mean, I don't mean to be down on him. I feel like Anthony's a better one. And then Anthony, ever since the injury, really he hasn't been the same. Remember, you guys, what he was like before the injury at South Carolina? He was incredible. And ever since then, like this whole last season, I just thought he was kind of meek. And he would have occasional games where he was good for like 5 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever. But in general, he was just meek. I didn't think he really made a difference. We'll see if it's different this year. Maybe he's had a whole full year to trust his leg, to know that he's fine. Maybe he'll be back to the guy he was before the injury, but we'll see. I still would take Anthony over Austin at this point. That's a good question. Hate to get too far into the weeds with basketball, though. We were talking about this the other day. I think we're going to do this during basketball season too. Probably won't go 2 hours after the game, but we'll do a show after the games. B-Matt wants to know if I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him right now. You guys will be surprised to know. I don't actually know his number right off the top of my head. I got to actually look it up. So we're going to call B-Matt right now and see what's up with the B-Matt. No, we don't want to. We're not doing that. Here we go. I hope it rings. I like it better when it rings. It reminds me of Howard Stern's show when they would do the rings. It goes.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, B-Matt? You're live on the show, bro.
Awesome. I'm walking back in my car right now out of Jordan-Hare Stadium.
How you doing, bro?
I'm pretty good.
How'd you feel like your night went as far as riding?
I wish I was drinking a beer or something right now and hanging out with the fellas, and doing stupid shit, but that's the way it is, I'm working.
What was the situation there after the game? Were they pretty happy?
Yes, but a little bit more reserved than you would expect after a big game like that. I think they understand, what they got coming up next week at Florida, and I think they're ready to flip the switch already. I mean, they said they're going to, 24-hour rule, whatever, but you could tell they were already thinking about the Gators and not celebrating too much over this win, although me personally, I thought that was a big win. That's the best Auburn's played in quite a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that first quarter, that's about as good a quarter as you'll ever see, right?
Dominated, just jumped on them early. That whole thing about wanting revenge and being embarrassed last year, you could see that, in the first 6 minutes, just routed them. We're up 21-0, I think, after 6 minutes and a few seconds, and it was on. I mean, they just dominated them, and I thought it was probably closer than it should have been, to be honest. 56-23 was the final. But the big things that stood out to me, the biggest thing that stood out to me was Bo Nix and how much progress he's made over 5 games now, because he looked like a really good college quarterback to me tonight. You could tell that he was hanging in the pocket more. You could tell that he was making some reads, making some changes, doing some checks. And you could tell that, he had spent more time this past week having all 4 of his top receivers healthy and working on that timing, because he was able to hit some of those quick routes and some of those deep balls much more efficiently. Yeah,
he definitely was. I mean, that throw to Seth to get the touchdown was unbelievable. His best throw of the year, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. And Seth was incredible tonight. I know he had that one fumble, but that was kind of bad luck, him trying to get extra yards and them all grabbing at it. But, he got tossed around and kept coming back out there and playing. I think he ended up with 8 catches for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, I thought Auburn did a good job of spreading the wealth around at the tailback. Saw DJ Williams get in there, get his first carries, and you could see right away that he's a really talented running back. Joey Gatewood came in the game and he threw the ball and actually ran the offense some.
Yeah.
Which is something you usually never, ever see from a Gus Malzahn team. And Gus even brought it up himself. He said it was good to get him in there and run the offense. So, that guy's changing. And you can see it tonight in the postgame. If you go watch the video, it's not the same Gus. It's just not. He's more emotional. It looks like he's enjoying it more. And you can tell he's really, really focused. And you can tell he really thinks he's got an opportunity to have a good team this year.
Man, do you think that Gus, I mean, at this point, you and I got to believe that this is a little bit different Gus. Do you think it's hanging out with Pearl that did it?
No, I think that's good for him, but I think it's more him making a conscious effort to change, being told he needs to, listen to those people and doing it. And I think, secondly, I just think he's done this so long now, maybe he's just more comfortable doing it, I mean, I'm more comfortable speaking to people, when I go to places, right? And, when I first started doing, I wasn't, but, just over time, over experiences, you sort of gain that comfort.
Hell yeah. You're great talking, man. Hey, defensively, I thought Mississippi State wanted to run the football, Matt, but that really wasn't going to happen with this defense, was it?
No, they destroyed Kylan Hill. He was SEC's leading rusher. I think he had 45 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I think they held him to right around 50. I mean, they shut his ass down.
Yeah.
And they really shut Mississippi State's offense down, really. I mean, they got a couple of drives here and there. They had to change quarterbacks. They got a touchdown there late against the backups. But overall, this was just a dominating job by Auburn.
Yeah.
Up and down. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, everything.
Does this change your thoughts about this Florida game? Do you think Auburn's going to go in there and do you think Auburn's going to go in there and beat Florida now?
The last 2 weeks have changed how I feel about Auburn this season. I mean, I thought if everything really went well, at the beginning of the season, that maybe they have an outside chance of, competing at the top of the SEC and SEC West. But now I think if they keep on the trajectory they are on, if they keep improving, they can go into, LSU and Georgia and Alabama with a chance. And I think Auburn made good on the Florida win by a couple touchdowns. I just think Florida is overrated. I know they've got some good players, particularly that defensive lineman they have. It's really good. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I just think Auburn's got more talent and more weapons on offense and defense is going to shut them down.
Yeah, it seems that way. But Power Man was our second caller tonight. He was like, man, I'm worried about Florida. So, sometimes they are.
People worried about Mississippi State, right? So, you never know.
You never know.
It's SEC football, but Auburn's got a chance now to play one more great game, get a win on the road, and then have that week off to Lake Wounds to get ready for another big October stretch run.
Yeah, no doubt. They don't have any home games in October. I don't know if you know that, B-Matt.
I've heard that, yeah.
All right, brother. I appreciate you calling in and being part of the show.
Absolutely. You guys have a good time tonight.
All right, you behave yourself out there, B-Matt.
All right. Night.
See ya. All right, B-Matt. My man. Yeah, B-Matt, Jay Lee on the horn. Love B-Matt. Love both those guys. Been knowing them a long time now. Damn it, I didn't change this to B-Matt's name. Doggone it. I'm going to change it just for him, even if he's not on here anymore. And check this out. I even got a picture for him. Look at that. Boom, it's B-Matt. He looks a little creepy in that thing, though. All right, if you guys were still trying to call, hop on now. I actually don't have anybody calling in at the moment, so we would take the next call that comes through. Let me see. I'm going to let people know on the bunker that we got calls coming in. We got an open phone line here. Let's see who wanted to. Sir has sent me a direct message on the bunker. He wanted me to. He said, "Answer my call." I was messing with flying around too, and he called in, so that was good. Let's see. Jeff mentions here in the chat, "Hey JG, what is your take on the O-line improving?" I would definitely think they were better. Thought Prince Tega was knocking some people around tonight, but as I mentioned, I feel like they are coaching them better insofar as they're calling plays that make more sense for them. If you notice, a lot of the runs that they do, they're allowing guys to take down blocks, which it basically means that the run is going, let's say, for instance, if you're a center, because Caleb is a guy that struggles sometimes, if the run is going to your right, his right, then you can block down, you can go against the grain, so he can basically block the guy to his left. And when you do that, it gives you a better angle to block. Whereas if the guy's straight ahead of you and you're going to run right, he's going to have to kind of beat that man over there and then hold him. Like, not hold, but I mean hold that block. And it's a tougher block. And I think the way they run the football right now, it makes the blocks better from an angle perspective. They can make those blocks. You can block down, and it says, hey, maybe Caleb's not a number one best blocker we've got in the world, so we're going to give him a strategic advantage by giving him down blocks. That's the kind of stuff they're doing. I think it's really smart. I don't know. Some of these defenses, specifically Georgia, I think they have it, and I think Alabama, if they don't have any more injuries, may have it. I don't know about LSU. I don't think LSU's defense is going to be enough to stop Auburn at this point. LSU, the problem with them is you're going to probably give up 35 points or more because they're just really good on that end of the football. But defensively, Auburn's going to be able to do what they want to do against them. 706 coming in. Hey, caller, thanks for calling in. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's Brown 68 from the bunker. Been a member for many, many, many years.
What up, man? How you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just got back from the game. I was impressed with the Auburn football team today. It's another thing. I'm impressed with Gus Malzahn. He seems to be a human being now. He's not a robot anymore. It's just surprising me the way he's taking care of himself on the sideline and just with the media and with the fans in general. And I'd like the bunker, like if y'all put some fire under the Gus this year.
Yeah, it's pretty big, right? You like how I'm doing it? No, I agree completely. And I was telling him the other day privately, I was like, man, I feel like you've been acting differently. And he was like, you really think so? Like, I mean, he's trying to tell me that he's not different, but he is.
I mean, my biggest thing is that Gus Malzahn might end up becoming a favorite Auburn coach. I mean, besides Bruce Pearl, I mean, the way he's coaching this team is just outstanding. And then his personality is changing. It just seems more human now.
Yeah, my theory is that he's been hanging out with Pearl. He went on those barnstorming tours with the Tiger Trek with Pearl, and it kind of rubbed off on him. Although B-Matt was just saying he thinks it's more like this situation got really hairy for him last fall when they were trying to fire him, and he kind of took inventory and he decided to change because of that. But I don't know. It just depends on what you think.
Yeah, I think he's improved. I guess, being on the hot seat affects you, different ways. I mean, I don't want to lose my job, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to lose his job because Auburn is a great football, tradition and job. So I'm pretty sure he's wanting to do everything he can to keep this job at Auburn.
Yeah. Your thoughts on this Florida game? Are you worried about Florida?
Well, looking at the Florida game, I'm thinking hopefully we can win the Florida LSU game, maybe split them. I'm not concentrating on the win as much as LSU. I'm hoping we can beat LSU. If we can lose to Florida, that's okay. But as long as we beat LSU this year, because it's been since 1999, the cigar game since we beat LSU, and I'm really, really more worried about the LSU game than Florida per se.
No, I understand totally, but I think LSU is going to be tough down there, and they score a lot of points. And I mean, Auburn's defense is really the calling card at this point. I know the offense was tremendous tonight, absolutely, but in general, against the really good teams, I think the defense is going to be the calling card. And I don't know, what can they do against LSU? If you go, let's say they were playing next week, how many points would you expect LSU to score?
I'd say probably 28 to 31 points, probably.
Yeah, that would be a good day, I think. And then the question is, can Auburn score 31 or whatever? And I mean, hey, Vanderbilt scored 38 on them. So
true, yeah, exactly right about that. I'm hoping Auburn can come through next week with a good victory and get some rest, and then just continue the second half of the season.
Yeah, that'd be good. They get an off week, and then they got Arkansas, and then they've got that LSU game. So that would be
I appreciate you guys working. I've been a Bunker member since 2004, 2005, since the Jetgate years. It's just been a tremendous.
Word.
I love watching your shows, Brain Drain, and just listening to y'all podcast. I mean, it's a great, show. Everybody should be a member of the Bunker that's an Auburn fan. I mean, shout out to the Bunker and all its members. Y'all have a great night. War Eagle.
I appreciate it, Brown. See you, bud. All right, good to have another person calling in for the Bunker. I think we've had all Bunker people tonight. That's the way I like it, yo. Kind of keep it in the family, so to speak. Let's check out the chat and see if anything's going on here. Man, there's no doubt about that. Uh-oh, we're getting a little fussy about Crime Dog, huh? Bradley says Grimes and Crime Dog are better coaches than we had before. Then Lewis says Crime Dog is not better than Greg Brown. You could make that argument. I thought Greg Brown was an outstanding assessor of recruits. He could tell you if a player was going to be good or not. But I think Crime Dog is a better coach. I think he gets kids up. He relates to kids better. And I think Crime is an important part of the staff right now, if you want to know my opinion. I think Crime's really underrated. He went to Ole Miss as the coordinator, and it didn't go very well. But sometimes you're just not in the right situation. I happen to think Wesley McGriff's really good. I just don't know if he's good as a coordinator. Janice says, are you channeling Elvis Gus? There's no doubt. Thank you very much. Bradley says, I disagree. Brown is a coaching hoe. Okay. He can't stay anywhere longer than 3 years his whole career. Yeah, that is true. He does bounce around a lot. I think it's because, like I said, his skill set is one where he's really good at assessing recruits, and he's not necessarily great at developing players. And so it's a talent that sometimes goes underappreciated. But I think here's what's going to happen. Like 2 years from now, or maybe 1 year from now, me and B-Matt will sit down and we'll go through all the kids that Greg Brown brought in. And I'll bet you there's not going to be a big miss because he didn't want Trayvon Leonard's not his guy. Because Trayvon's not been great, and Malcolm Askew has not been great. But the other guys have been helpful. Roger McCreary was a guy that he really wanted. He was big on Jeremiah Denson, as I recall. Although I think that might have been a Muschamp guy too. Javaris. He was definitely in on Roger McCreary. I was talking about this with Ben before he left. That Greg had never assessed a guy and said, hey, offer him, who did end up being at least a decent player for them. So we'll go back through that. We'll take this call. And this is an area code I don't recognize, 678. Do I know that one? Should I know that one? Hey, caller, thanks for calling in. How you doing?
Hey, caller, how you doing?
How you doing? Who am I talking to?
Hey, JG, man. This is Coach Bunker. What's happening, baby?
This is who?
Coach Bunker.
I don't know who that is, but I appreciate you calling in, bro. How you been?
Hang on, man. So you basically right now you're saying that you don't know who I am.
Not right off, no. What you been doing tonight?
Man, that's kind of fucked up, man.
Ah, you said
But
a
hey,
bad word.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You all
But
right?
here's what we're doing, man.
All right.
We're out here, man. We're in Auburn, and I'm gonna tell you, man, we're at Crystals right now. But the main point is, I've never seen an Auburn team take it to another team like that. Never, man.
Never?
I mean, well, you can count it on one hand.
Yeah, that's true.
You can count it on one hand. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I've been following Auburn since '02, and I can think about 3 or 4 times we've taken it to a team like that, man.
Yeah, they got beat up pretty bad. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm talking
Dude.
about.
We killed them dudes, man. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying. You're telling the truth.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No,
Tell me
you're
if
not
I'm
wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, we watched a absolute beatdown tonight. I mean, somebody needs to call the cops, man. We murdered those dudes. We killed them, JG. We absolutely murdered those dudes, man.
So are you fired up about this season now, though? Do you think this is going to be a big year?
Are you kidding me? Am I fired up about the season? I mean, we're going undefeated, son.
Whoa. What now?
Whoa! We're going undefeated, JG.
Word.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling you right now, Gus is a different person. Everybody who hated Gus, I hated Gus last year. That's a different dude, man.
No, he is. I agree.
I mean, have you ever seen that dude show that much emotion on the sideline?
I have not. But
Have you ever seen it?
he tries to tell me he's the same guy, but I don't believe it.
Have you ever seen him show that much emotion on the sideline?
I have not, no.
No. I mean, nobody has, man. That's a different man. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody who hated Gus last year, I mean, you're good, man. Nobody was wrong last year when they hated him. I mean, the dude is a different guy. It's unreal, man. I mean, it really is. Number 10, he's humble. Humility. Gives all the glory to God, man. It's a fun team to watch, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
And they're winning big. Hey, are you worried about Florida?
I mean, yeah, I'm worried about Florida, but at the same time, we got number 10 back there. We got a new Gus Malzahn. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, JG.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun right now, man.
It's a good time to enjoy it, right?
I mean, dude, we're loving it, man. We're living it up. Thanks so much, man.
All right, man. Coach Bunker, I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. You don't even know who I am,
But I appreciate you not calling in nonetheless.
I know, man. Yeah, appreciate me calling in, bro.
Be good.
All right, JG,
See-
we out.
See ya.
Hey, caller.
See ya.
We out, caller.
See ya. That's Coach Bunker. I think that's the guy that called in from Skybar last week. That's what I think. Yeah, I think that's who that is. It's good stuff. Pari says, yeah, I'm worried about Florida. I don't know about that. Love the Cat says, you want 3 Crystals and 2 corn puffs. Man, I can't even go to Crystals anymore. They closed the one by my house. They boarded it up. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think Crystal could ever go out of business. I mean, there's always a moment. There's always somebody who's in a moment where they need Crystals. Maybe it's because they're sad about some shit that's going down in their personal life. If it's after like 8 o'clock at night, maybe it's because they drank too much. That's a great place to go. I would rather it be White Castle, but, you know, I'm realistic about where I live. They don't have White Castles here. So, there you go. Jeff Cheney says, I don't think he was done, JG. I know. Captain Bunker. Coach Bunker. I'm sorry. Coach Bunker. Yeah, he was done. I'm glad he called in, though. It's good stuff. Let's see. Phil says, get that food, bro. No, ain't no food for me. I'm over here by my lonesome, yo. Out here in Hampstead, Montgomery, Alabama. Doing my thing. I got no food coming to me, bro. Robert Nixon says, from a Michigan State fan, please destroy Alabama. Man, that's like 8 games away, it feels like. Lewis says that Crystal is the White Castle of the South. Man, you need to wash your mouth out, bro. Crystal is nothing, absolutely nothing like White Castle. If you taste it, it's totally different. I don't know how. It looks the same, but it's not. I don't know. Jeff Cheney loves White Castle too. I sure do. Brad says he does have a Coach Bunker handle. Man, I should know that. Ooh, we got a call coming in from an area code I don't recognize. 737. Where is that, y'all? Y'all tell me in the chat. Hey, what's going on, caller? How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Who am I talking with?
Keeping them eligible.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on? How are you?
Well, it's been a minute.
Been a minute.
Yeah, I haven't talked with you in a minute.
We didn't talk about too much tonight, but I wanted to bring up Seth Williams had himself an absolute game.
Well, hell yeah, he did, of course. I think everybody that saw the game would think that, right?
Well, he actually ranked with that game 161 yards, 10th all-time in Auburn single-game history receiving.
Damn. I didn't realize it was that big.
Not bad. Tied with Robert Baker from 1996.
Robert Baker, touchdown maker or license plate maker, depending on how you look at it.
Well, good, man. I just wanted to drop that little piece of knowledge.
That's
See
it?
how you're doing.
What kind of night do you have in keeping them eligible?
I'm in the Dickel 12 a little bit.
I love George Dickel, old Uncle Dickel.
I can't have an Auburn game without it. I'll tell you what.
Oh, that's your go-to?
Absolute go-to.
Word.
They should give me a sponsorship. I rep them so hard.
Are you worried about this Florida game?
A little bit. I'm worried that so many people are not worried about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, it kind of shapes up as it seems like the LSU games of yesteryear, where LSU used to be a little earlier in the season, and if you lose that game and then you could go on a run afterwards, it kind of feels like this Florida game shaping up to be that way.
Yeah, I hear you. I think Florida in general is not as good as Auburn, but, you know, when you're down in the swamp and that kind of thing happens, sometimes they're a little bit better than you think they are.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Keeping them eligible, you're one of the all-time greats. That's my opinion.
Well, thank you. I don't post much, but
I know. But when you come through, it's always a voice of reason.
I love it. Well, thank you, sir. It means a lot.
Be good, bro.
Yes, sir.
See you, man. We got another call coming in from 334. That's my area code, so I'm going to take that call. Yo, what's up? How you doing, caller?
What's up?
What's up? How you been?
Fantastic. How are you?
Who I got on the horn?
Corey.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Man, I need to see some masterpieces, yo. You haven't had any lately.
I haven't?
No, fuck no, you haven't. Of course. Oh, I said a bad word. No, you haven't.
Hey, man, is 42 points the most points Auburn's ever scored in the first half of an SEC game?
I think it was the most in like a minute. Yeah, it's been a while.
How long? I mean, like,
I don't know.
I've never seen it.
Maybe they beat Swanee like that like years ago. I don't know.
Man, it was so refreshing to see us hit 2 long passes in the first half.
Right?
We haven't done that all year.
I know. Bo was like on fire, right?
He was. It was fantastic. It was very refreshing to watch.
I'm telling you, he's a baller, bro. He just got to get right.
He is.
You just got to get together with these guys.
Absolutely.
What's your biggest takeaway from this game?
Team looks completely different. They're finally coming together.
Well, are they actually together, or are they just coming together?
They're coming together. That's kind of weird.
I know.
Maybe they are coming together. Maybe that's how they're coming closer to each other.
We're breaking news here.
Yeah, we are breaking news.
Are you worried about this Florida game?
No, not really. 2:30 start. I think we got it in the bag.
Why would the 2:30 start do it for you?
Well, it's too early for the swamp to get going.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Are you going to go?
I'm not. I'm not going to go.
Would you like to go?
Sitting it out. Do what?
Would you like to go? I mean, if I told you right now, Corey, I could make it happen where you go to the swamp and have
If you got free tickets, I'd go.
No, I don't, but
I'd get in the car and I'd go.
You'd have to sit with me, though. That'd be the problem. I don't know if you would be willing to do that.
I think I would.
I want you to know that there's been a few masterpieces that have made me cry. I have been so fucking funny that I laughed. I cried. I mean,
That's fantastic.
You've done incredible work with the MS Paint.
Do what now?
What?
Do what now?
Who's your favorite player on defense?
Britt.
Oh, hell yeah. He fills those holes, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He does. He fills all the holes.
It's unbelievable how he comes downhill and just absolutely crushes people day after day after day. I don't know how he does it.
He does. He does. He fucks them up. Oh, I'm sorry.
You said a bad word.
My bad.
Oh, well, it happens. What do you think about the brain drain? What can I do to improve it?
Oh, nothing at all. It's as good as it can get.
That's good. That's a good answer.
Hey, go Braves.
All right, man. You be good out there, Corey.
You too, brother.
See you, bro. One of the all-time greats. Corey really is one of the good ones. Yeah, I said a bad word. Maybe I did, Jimmy. No, I didn't actually. Somebody might have. All right, so according to the data that I have here on my OBS, we have been live for 1 hour and 58 minutes. Can you believe that? Lewis, how dare you say that I've been getting plastered? I haven't even had that much. I've only had about half this bottle, I guess. Is this a fifth? I doubt it. Let's take this call. 251 coming in. What's up, caller? How you doing?
All right, how are you doing, Jesse?
What's up? How you been?
All right, man. Yourself?
What kind of night are you having? A successful one?
I'm having a great night, man. It was wonderful watching the Tigers growl again tonight. I was going to say real quick, because I know you're running out of time.
Wait, first of all,
things I noticed, not really schematic-wise, but more in like mannerisms. It seems like Bo Nix is really kind of coming into his own. As far you can tell by his body posture and everything that he's really gained a lot of confidence in the way he's moving around on the field.
Yeah.
I noticed after Seth Williams had that quote unquote fumble in the the third quarter, I think it was, that Bo ran over there and he was one of the first guys to pick him up off the ground. He wasn't paying attention to anything else. He was interested in making sure Seth was okay because he was holding his shoulder. You know, and he kind of seemed to hold his wits well on the field and concentrate on what's going on. Another thing about DJ Williams I was going to say was that I've noticed that the thing that he does different than the other running backs is he kind of very instinctively runs behind his pads really well.
He does. I would agree. He does a nice job with that. I wish he was.
And I've also noticed it's go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say I wish he would be a little more patient, but he does run behind his pads. I agree with that.
Yeah, he's got that kind of low angle in the way he runs, and if you'll remember when it took Carry-On 2 seasons before he started doing that. He was a real upright runner.
Yeah.
When he was first there, and of course, Booby still kind of does that when he's plodding along. Shivers has still got that problem with not being able to stab and hit a hole. But I think DJ Williams. Now I see after seeing him play tonight why you and some other people have been so high on him from the things you've seen about him. Also, I was going to say that it seems like that Malzahn seems to be using what appear to be, now I'm not hearing the play call, so I can't say for sure, but it seems like he's using a lot more RPOs with Nix.
Yeah.
Which, we could infer from that he trusts Nix's judgment a lot more on those.
Yeah,
I think saying a lot from Gus.
Yeah, I think they're getting a little more complicated on some of those reads. And in the beginning, it was just hand that ball off, and now they're trusting Bo a little bit more, and I think it makes that offense more difficult to defend. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just to me that all kind of goes hand in hand with what you've been talking about Gus turning a new leaf, sort of in a way, or maybe part of a leaf this year.
Yeah.
Because that's something we hadn't seen in him in a while. It could be because Nix's talent is unusual. He hadn't had somebody like that to work with since Cam was there.
Yeah.
That could be part of it. Or since, no, I take that back. Probably Marshall.
Oh yeah, Nick Marshall was badass.
Yeah, and one thing everybody keeps talking about Gus changing, and there were a couple weeks back I made an observation on the bunker regarding the conversation that you and Jay Walker had on one of the first two brain drains about how psychologically it's really hard for human beings to change once we get past a certain age.
It is.
You know, it normally takes like a big shakeup in our minds or in our personalities
Yeah.
to do that. And Gus seems to have turned that corner a little bit this year. Do you think that was? Do you have any idea if that was a concerted effort or something else has done that?
I got to believe it was a concerted effort, yes. I just don't know who spawned that. If it was Dillingham, if it was his wife, if it was hanging out with Bruce Pearl, I don't know. But there's definitely a difference. And I wish that I knew. The problem is that when I ask him, he goes, well, I'm just the same guy. He gives me like a bullshit answer, and I don't really know how to push him on that. So.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
There's no doubt. Who am I talking to, by the way? Are you a Bunker subscriber?
Yeah, this is Scribe Tiger.
Hey, what up, man?
Nothing much. Anyway, but I just thought that was really weird. There's been some postulation on the Bunker tonight that he might have hired a coach for some of that stuff. You know, maybe it's a combination of all the things you just quoted or you just stated. But something's going on, man. Because I noticed it after when he did that first. When he did his first, the Auburn football review, how he comes back out and does that a little bit with Andy in the stadium. And after that first win over Oregon, I was watching that, and his body language and demeanor was so different. It was really weird.
I don't know as though he has a coach.
Relaxed.
If he had a coach, I feel like I would know about it. But something's changed with him, and I don't know. He just keeps he doesn't acknowledge it to me is the problem.
Right. But, I mean, normally that takes, like, outside intervention of some sort. You know, you got to have a therapist or somebody telling you, look, man, this is what you need to do, you know.
I know. It's crazy. But, you know, it's
Very
Gus.
weird.
It's Gus.
Go ahead.
Scribe Tiger, I want you to know that I think you're awesome, and I'm glad you're part of the site, bro.
All right. Well, thank you very much, man. I think you've got a great product here. It looks like it's growing really well.
Yeah, well, it does all right. I appreciate you being part of the show, bro. See you,
You're
Pop.
not writing for the advertiser anymore.
That's now that's a summary right there I can get behind, bro. Appreciate you, Scribe.
All right, man. Have a good one.
See you, bro. He says, at least you're not writing for the advertiser anymore. You are damn right on that, brother. I am glad to not be in the newspaper business. All I wanted to be, you guys, seriously, I don't want to be TMI here, but all I wanted to do was be a newspaper reporter when I was coming up, bro, in the 90s. I mean, I was like the guys that all the guys that I wanted to be, they were newspaper reporters. I was in Lexington, Kentucky. Chuck Culpepper, who's still awesome. John Clay, Jerry Tipton, Mark Story. I just wanted to be those guys. And then by the time that I got old enough to be good enough to be those guys, then the newspaper business goes to shit. And Jeffrey Lee graciously hired me here at auburnsports.com in 2012. And then I ended up buying the site from him for reasons that you guys probably remember. And then the least I could do was bring him back, and he's been tremendous. I love the way that Jay Lee goes about recruiting, man. I think recruiting can give you too much information. I think there's overload. I mean, Auburn offers 150 kids a year, and how many of those kids really matter? 30? And Jay Lee doesn't drag you down rabbit holes you don't need to go down. Let's see what else is going on. Crawdaddy says Gus started smoking pot just a little bit. Doubt that's probably not what happened. I think it was Dillingham, and I think it was Bruce Pearl. This is what I think it was. Although his wife's really awesome, but I don't know. I mean, the fact that it was just so close for him last year, you guys don't realize how close he came to getting fired. I mean, they were trying really hard to get him fired, and it just didn't make financial sense because his buyout at that point was $32 million. There were people who thought they could negotiate it down, but I mean, whether that was actually going to happen or not, I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, who knows? But, the best thing for Auburn, if you want to know my opinion, is for him to win games. And he's been winning the shit out of this stuff because they have been really good this year. And if he beats Florida and then wins the Gus Bowl 7-0 going to LSU, it's all good. Let's see what else is going on here. I think we're slowing down a little bit. We're past the 2-hour mark. We're now at 2 hours and 7 minutes. We are now at 1:12 a.m. in the Eastern time zone, 12:12 in the Central time zone. We've been on for a while. Jeff Cheney says, I listened to the radio broadcast tonight while watching the game for the first time. Andy is not Rob, at least not now. See, all right, so I listen to Andy a lot. I thought Andy turned a corner the last game. I thought it was a lot smoother the last game, so that would be game 4. And then today, I thought it was really good. I thought he started adding some stuff to some of his segues. He even threw some Spanish out there. He said, uno momento. And I tweeted at him about it. I don't know if he answered me back. I can't really tell. There's too much shit going on in here. As you guys can imagine, I got a billion mentions and shit. Can't tell what's going on, but Jimmy Holcomb says 10-12 PST. I'm not living in the PST world, bro. I wish I was. I mean, I grew up as a young man in San Diego, and I would love to live out there. But my wife told me very early on in our relationship, she was like, I'm not living in California, so if you want to live out there, you need to date somebody else. And I was like, I'd rather not do that. Because I kind of like my wife. We've been together a while now. Started dating her in 92. Right about the time the LA riots happened. So that would have been March of 92. April 92. Let's see. Somebody asked, Brad says, tell us the not Andy story. I will tell you that real quick because I know that you know what I'm talking about here. I don't know if your casual observers of the show would know. So when I do the Tiger Talk review, I refer to Andy, obviously Andy. And then Brad Law, I refer to him as not Andy. And Brad Law was years ago, he was a radio host for a radio show in Auburn. And on this show, this would have been in about 2005, I think. They did a segment where Brad and his guest were talking about how sports reporters should have to pass a competency exam to be able to cover the team, which is really creepy. I don't even know what that means. Like, you should pass a competency exam to be able to cover the team. I don't even know. So we all thought that was so funny. Sorry, I hit that, guys. We thought it was so funny that we actually transcribed it, and we thought it was some of the funniest shit we had ever heard on the air. And I said that I will never like that guy again because it's such a stupid thing. Like, to say that you shouldn't be able to cover the team unless you can answer competency questions about football strategy is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I have no idea what that has to do with anything. And here's the funny thing. So for the last 8 years, probably, I've been trying to learn more about football, and I do these camera eyes. And I mean, I talk to coaches too. I have 3 coaches that work, well, 4 sometimes, 3 every week, that help me with the camera eye to make sure that I get the shit right. Cause I don't want to tell you guys information that's wrong. And I know a lot more about football now than I did 8 years ago. And I think among beat writers, I'm probably way above average. So if Brad Law wants to have a competency exam with me and go head to head about formations or plays or how to draw up plays, I'd be glad to go head to head with him. I really would. I don't even know. Maybe he was a coach when he was younger. I don't know. But if he wants to go head to head and loser leaves town, I'll be willing to do that if he wants to. What's up, caller? How you doing? Appreciate you calling in.
Hey, Jay, there you go.
Hey, what's up, Coach? I haven't seen you in a minute, bro.
Vincent at a Missouri game.
Fuck yeah, I know. And that dude, the guy that we were hanging out with, man, he died.
Yeah, that was sad.
I know, right? I've been wanting to talk to you. I'm glad that you're here on the air.
Oh yeah, just got back from the place I'm staying at from the game.
So what'd you think about that game, bro?
Color me impressed. I'm more of a realist, probably leaning towards D&G, but can't really say anything bad about today. Gus dialed up a good game, and the guys executed, and we dominated.
Yeah, they beat that ass, didn't they?
Pretty much.
I mean, it was 21-0 like 5 minutes into the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, really don't have anything bad to say. I usually have something bad to say about Gus or whatever we did, but I don't know if we keep playing like that. It might be a pretty nice season.
Do you think Bo Nix, by the time we get to Georgia and Alabama, is going to be an absolute beast, or do you think this was just kind of like his best game?
No, I mean, ever since the first game, he's looked. He's got all the intangibles, and he's just been putting the pieces together on the field every week.
Yeah, he was really good today, though.
Last week it was probably his best game, but he kept missing the long passes, and today, man, he lit it up.
Yeah, he was really, really good today. And it makes me think that, like, by the time they get to Georgia, he's going to be really good. But I don't know. Maybe this was kind of an anomaly. I don't know.
I still don't think we can run the ball inside. But the good thing is Gus isn't. He's not forcing it. He seems to be sticking with what we can do.
Yeah, and I love the way that he's kind of the run game. He's going with what he can do best instead of trying to force things.
We ran off tackle. It seemed like a lot.
Yeah, and they're better out wide because they can pull guys, and they're better out that way. Yeah.
Yep. No, I think it seems like he's actually finally learned. I don't know. Maybe it's an aberration, but I'm not going to be upset about it tonight. I'm not going to try to find something to be mad about.
Yeah. Florida, what's your pick on that game?
I think it's going to be ugly, but I think we'll win. I mean, it's a tough place to go play. I've been down there twice. And it gets loud, and they've got a good team, but I think we're a little bit better, and I don't think they're going to be ready for it. So.
You thinking like a couple touchdowns, or like 10 or 7 or what?
Yeah, I feel like in the 10 to 13 range.
Word. Yeah, I mean, seriously though, man. So it's come up here in the last couple weeks about kill yourself, and I've tried to tell people in the bunker like don't write that and stuff. And then like the guy that we met, Auburner, the guy we met in St. Louis, it's just been kind of haunting me a lot lately, man.
Yeah, no, I definitely done it before because sometimes it's funny if it's the right person, but not always great.
Yeah, man, I really want to drink beer with you and your wife again, bro. I had a good time with you guys.
Yeah, man. You coming down for the North Carolina game to Atlanta?
I generally work from the house now because I can do the show. I can't really do it at the stadiums is the problem,
I just hear excuses, Jay. No, we'll have to make that happen. Maybe you can come down for a soccer match in the spring.
Ooh, I would love to do that. You know that. I love some soccer, bro. I know you guys are Atlanta United folks, right?
Oh, yeah. We got season tickets.
Hell, you went to a Bayern Munich game, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You bastard. I wish I could go. All right, go. You're one of the greats, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Thanks, man. Great show.
See you, man.
War Eagle. Bye.
See ya. There you go. One of the all-time greats. Really, really cool dude. Met him and his wife in St. Louis. They were really, really cool. Hey, caller. Thanks for calling in. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Who I got on the horn?
This is McBain.
McBain. Hey, man, I know you personally.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How you been, bro?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thoughts on that football game? Pretty impressive, huh?
That was. Gosh, that's about as complete a game as I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been, 2017 Arkansas game, maybe?
Do what now?
It's been probably that 2017 Arkansas game was an absolute bloodletting, but since then,
it was. It was. That most definitely. So definitely since 2017 Alabama game was pretty good as well.
Yeah, that's true about that. Does this kind of game, the ability to absolutely just curb stomp Mississippi State, who's a decent team, does it change your opinion about what they can achieve this year?
Yeah, because I mean it's in a way it reminds me of basketball after Kentucky last year when they started, they lost, got blown out, but then they started to win, and it didn't look really pretty, to start with, but it was a win, and kind of like early in the season, and they just keep getting better and better, and personally, when I first, the first games, I was like, good gosh, we're looking at the same stuff we've seen the last 3 years. And then, but, to Gus's credit, I mean, they're sticking to it and they're grinding and they're getting better. So I would say, yeah, most definitely. The fact that, Mississippi State is not Kent State by any means.
That's
they're
right.
a decent team. And the fact that they were able to go there and put an offensive game plan together like that, then actually execute that on the field, especially when you have, an inexperienced quarterback, for the most part. And whatnot. And, the offensive line has definitely improved. They're calling the game to accentuate what they can do and everything. So, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, big time performance. And now you got this big game against Florida, 2:30 CBS. I mean, yeah, there's a temptation. I will say this, as somebody who thinks Auburn's pretty damn good, they're going to be able to run over Florida, but I bet you there's going to be some hurdles in that game.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I'm concerned about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I think Auburn's a better team, but I mean, there have been a few exceptions, but historically, Auburn doesn't usually fare that well at Florida Field. And,
it's true.
It's a tough place to play. I mean, the Swamp, going down there to the Swamp, and you know how the stadium's constructed, the fans are right there on top of the field. The players are sitting on the sideline, and you got your first row of fans are less than 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And it gets loud, and you've got two highly ranked teams coming into play. 2:30 CBS kickoff. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. So I think it's going to be tough. I mean, if not anything, just for that, I think that gives Florida a few points within itself. Now, I think Auburn's got a better team, and if they can withstand that, they could go down there and win. But I think it's going to be a tough outing. I'd like to be wrong, but I believe it's going to be tough.
I wonder if that history of the Knicks family at Florida is going to matter. Just that Bo knows his dad pulled off some of his greatest shenanigans at Florida, and it's going to make him want to do more of that himself. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's it's historical performance doesn't of teams certainly doesn't have any bearing on anything that's going forward. I mean, but all that's happened for a reason too. So I'm sure his dad would be able to give him some advice, having actually played there and what to expect.
Yeah.
So I think that'll certainly be helpful for him.
McBain, you're a Titan, bro. I appreciate you calling in such a late hour.
Oh yeah. Well, I enjoy the show.
All right, you behave yourself.
All right, take care.
See you, bro. McBain, I know that's a guy I know in real life. I had lunch with him in Montgomery like 6 months ago, or maybe a year ago. I can't remember which. It's good to have him on. He's a little worried about Florida. I understand. Power Man was the first one. Second caller of the day was like, hey, man, I'm worried about Florida. I was like, yeah. They're pretty good. Zachary says Florida fans drink White Claw. See what I mean? You guys know the truth. Mm-hmm. Jana says instant karma Sunshine State. Dang, man, that's pretty vicious. All right, well, I'm tempted to kind of shut this bad boy down. We've been going 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's now 12:24 in the Central Time Zone, 1:24 in the Eastern Time Zone. The Auburn Tigers are still 5-0 after beating Mississippi State. It's a pretty big win. And I am now officially past halfway into my Maker's 46 bottle. As I mentioned on the Greatest Pod in the South that I do with Neil McCready, we're drinking a little bit more, but it's okay. I texted Neil earlier, and he did not answer me, so I guess we can't get Neil on. I know we had a couple of Neil fans that were in the chat, and that's the story there. And you guys have already mentioned the chat. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but it looks like game day is going to be in Gainesville next week, so that's going to be big. I've been joking on the bunker that the crowd will be rocking guy. I never listen to anything he says, but Gus said it after the game. He's like, man, our crowd was really rocking. I was like, don't be that guy. Seriously. All right, I'm probably going to wrap it up, guys. Love the Cat says, Temptation sucks. What does that even mean, bro? I don't even know what you're talking about. The Temptations? I am nobody. Shout out from Lexington, Kentucky. Dude, that's kind of like my hometown. So, word. Glad to have you here as part of our show at auburnsports.com here. Well, I guess technically it's on YouTube. If you guys, I know that like every single caller with the possible exception of Coach Bunker. Well, we do have a call coming in. Should I take it, guys? Should I take it? I'm going to take it. Fuck it. I don't care. It's 12:26. Nobody cares. Hey, caller, how you doing? Thanks for calling in, y'all.
JG, what's up, JG?
What's going on?
JG. what? You on the Bookers?
Who I got on the horn here, yo?
You got Jimmy Chaff.
Who?
Jimmy Chaff. You're
Hey.
live from the Uber in Auburn.
Are you in Auburn for real?
We're Ubering to the Hilton Garden Inn, man.
Oh shit, man! Are you guys partying or what?
Day party on that Bookers.
What?
We just ordered a bunch of hair dye. We're gonna get our tips frosted up.
Oh, are you gonna make fun of my hair now? That's some bullshit, Jimmy Chaff. Come on, bro.
No, dude, that hair is real, man. What do you think about that game, man?
I thought it was pretty damn impressive, dude, to beat the dog shit out of Mississippi State like that. That's pretty big.
Dude, we watched that shit from the Nelson.
Yeah.
Where you used to spectate.
Yeah.
And it looked good.
Well, it looked good from every.
It looked crisp. Everything was feeling right.
Yeah, they were really, really good. And have you been a anti-Gus guy, or are you kind of like just feeling it out?
No, we pumped the sunshine.
We're sunshine pumpers, man. We stay pumping.
The realest.
We are legion.
Yeah. Okay. Does this change your feeling about this Florida game coming up? You more optimistic now?
Oh, no, we'll dominate. We know that October is Gus's month, so feeling really good about it.
That is true.
Then we're gonna build that mo up, and then we're gonna roll into Baton Rouge with a little whiskey, and we're gonna tear it up.
Yeah,
and the D&G squad is gonna be like, oh shit, we don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
They're running out of excuses, man.
They are running out of excuses.
Uh-oh. Is this like a SSP? Are you guys rising up as SSP?
No, we don't rise up. We keep it real.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this.
We'll
So
let you take the next sip of whiskey and accept the next caller. I know it was getting dry on the line, but
yeah, I mean it's
we
getting
felt good about it. We're actually going to call back next week because we're doing our squad party again.
It's called the Dust Bowl.
Yeah,
Dust Bowl.
We kick up some dust with some whiskey and shit.
and we're going to do a Low Country Bowl,
Word.
and it'll be a good time with the boys.
Sounds
And
great.
We'll see what we can do against Florida.
All right, man. You be good, Jimmy Chaff.
All right, man.
See you, bro. Man, I just missed a call from 334 while we were doing that. Stinks. Sorry, guys. Jimmy Chaff, though, and his homie. Keeping it real. Going back to the Hilton Garden Inn at 12:29, I feel like that probably wasn't a successful night. But, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. Depends on what the goal is. I mean, I didn't hear any girls in the car, but they may have been there. We don't know that. I don't know that. Maybe they were just being quiet. Back when I was at Transylvania University, years ago in 1990, my RA, Dave Johnson, told me, first of all, if I can't hear them after 2 o'clock, they're not there. I'm going to go ahead and take this call. We'll finish that later. What's up, caller? How you doing?
Oh, my God. James Gerald Tate.
Boom. You got on the air, bro. Who I got?
This is David Hasselhoff.
What
checking
up?
in from Evansville, Indiana.
Are you really, seriously, are you in Evansville?
Yeah, they call it the Vegas of the Midwest.
It absolutely is. Why are you there?
We got like some cheap, thing in the mail to come up here, and we were just looking to get out of town. So me and Swiss Mista and his wife, and my wife, who's pregnant as hell.
No kidding.
Oh, that reminds me. I had some sex today, man, with a girl.
Oh, that's huge, man. I'm glad you're letting us know on the show.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought,
I got to be really careful
Let's
with you.
talk football.
Hey, no, I want to mention this. You are the only person on the bunker that has a compromising photo of me.
That is true. I take great pride in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have.
And my other accolade that I take great pride in is I went from having the double asterisks, those were dark days, man, to having a title now.
That's true.
That's pretty bitching, dude.
No, absolutely. You're a comeback story for the ages, no doubt.
Yeah. So how fun was tonight, man? Oh, my God.
Oh, you talking about the show or you talking about the football game?
Well, the show I'm sure was great, too, but I'm talking about the football game. I wanted to talk football for a second.
Yeah, they beat that ass, and that felt pretty good, right?
Holy shit, yes. I do have one question. We were only watching in the casino, so we couldn't hear, commentary. I'm wondering, since you're our inside guy, and y'all may have already talked about this, is everything okay with Gatewood? Things seem kind of miss there?
You gotta have to elaborate on that. What do you mean a miss? Like he didn't?
I don't know. We didn't see him till late, right?
It was a little later than I thought.
think I
Yeah,
Say again.
it was a little later than I thought that he would show up, but not like ridiculously late.
Okay. I thought we saw him a little less than we would have, being we won 56 to whatever it was.
No, I understand, but I mean the fact is that Bo is a true freshman, man. They need to get him as many snaps as possible, right?
I see that. Well, and also know this: I know as much about football as Doc Dumpster knows about skinny chicks. So I'm just trying to contribute. So,
Yeah.
So who all have you talked to tonight? I'm sure Doc called in. That guy's not going to turn down a chance to be on the show.
No, we actually tried to get Doc earlier, and I think he's housed up with some Philly, so we weren't able to pull him in. But we've probably had 30 callers. I don't know. We've been going on forever now.
You've had 30 callers? Oh, my God.
I think that's
Doc's
fair.
Probably in the Elmers real bad, you know?
I think that's fair to say.
Do you do the show from there at the stadium, or you head out?
No, I do it here from Montgomery in the headquarters here in Hampstead. So
Nice.
That's
All
kinda-
right, man.
that's what we do.
Well, hey, I'm going to get back to my cheesecake in the bathroom, but I just wanted to say, hey, Doc's been giving me crap all week to call in, so I didn't want to let him down.
I appreciate you calling in, Hoff, and being part of the site, bro.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. Y'all have a good one. War
See you,
Eagle.
bro. See you, man. David Hasselhoff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad he called in. That's good shit, yo. Hoff, I don't even remember the old days when he was like a bad guy. I give asterisks to people that I don't like. Not necessarily people I don't like. People that create a scene, I give him 1 asterisk. And I think he was at a 2 asterisk. So maybe at some point in his career, years ago, he was being a huge dick or whatever. But like, I just remember David Hasselhoff for the guy he is now. He's cool. And as I mentioned, he has a compromising photo of me. I mean, semi-compromising. I don't even really want to get into the story about how that happened because it's kind of intricate. Someday he's probably going to post it, and at that point I'll explain it. I'll just leave it at that. All right, so we've been going, we have now officially at this moment right now hit 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's probably enough, right? Yeah, I think it's probably enough. It's 12:34 Central Time Zone, 1:34 in the Eastern Time Zone. That's probably enough. Chat's winding down. The calls are kind of petering out a little bit. We didn't get Doc Dumpster today. That's very disappointing. I also didn't get Stretchy Poo, who I really wanted to talk to, but sometimes, some shit's going on. I get it. It's Saturday. Auburn won a big game. Maybe you have some different goals than to be on the show with JG. I get it. I get it. Looking through my email, make sure there isn't anything on here we need to talk about. But I don't really see anything like that. So we'll just wrap it up there, guys. To all you guys on the chat, appreciate you being part of the show as we moved along here. As I told Hoff, I think we probably had 30 callers. At least 20. Between 20 and 30. And it was a pleasure. Huge win again for the Auburn Tigers. We'll do it again for the Florida game next week. I'm not going down to Gainesville, but BMAT is. And I think Nate is too. So we'll have that to look forward to. Chris Martin says, JG, time to refill the cup. I don't know, bro. Probably not the best time to do that now. I think we did a good job putting a dent in this bad boy, though. I've been trying to not drink the same liquor every week, like try to change it up. So we may not come back to this Maker's 46 for a little while, but it was pretty good. Not going to lie about it. If I came across it and it was inexpensive, I would probably drink it again. As I recall, I bought this a long time ago. It was a little more expensive than I probably would have preferred. And Standard Makers is a little bit rough, my opinion. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Again, those of you on the chat, appreciate you being part of the show all this way. Some folks, Chip's been here forever. Chris has been here forever. Bradley's been here forever. Jeff's been here forever. Who else? Love the Cats. Brad. Been here forever. J.O.'s been here for a while. Garris has been here since the beginning. War Eagle Bart, appreciate that. Lewis, of course. We can always count on Lewis being around. Phil as well. You've been here the last 3 weeks that I can remember. I am nobody. Having the Lexington, Kentucky shout out. Appreciate that, Bradley. Jimmy was here for a long time. And all the folks that I've lost along the way. Appreciate you guys. Should I take this last call? I'll tell you what, man. I still feel like I can take calls. Let's take it. 865 area code. I don't even know where that is. Hey, caller, how you doing?
JG Tape, my dog.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Hell yeah, I can hear you. Where you at?
There we go. Let me take it off speakerphone. I'm on the Interstate 75 driving through Atlanta.
Oh, damn. Who am I talking with?
My handle is Brand SM, but you would probably know me a little bit better as Scotty B from Tennessee.
Hey, what up, man?
Oh man, just been enjoying the end of the show here. I've tried to call a few times, so I had a question for you.
Yep.
I'm sure it was probably elaborated on a little earlier, but it seemed like last week Gus got away from using the booby cat so much, and Gatewood was in on the majority of those snaps.
Yeah.
And then tonight, it looked like he went back to the booby cat. And I don't really think I should complain. I just don't really understand what he's going for there. I mean, it obviously worked. I mean, Booby killed it, but just take those snaps away from Gatewood. I just didn't know if you had any other insight on that.
Yeah, in general, I'm a bigger fan of Gatewood than I am Booby Cat, but I will probably have to ask him on Sunday specifically what he was thinking there and try to gauge what he says, if that's legit or not. I don't know. We'll have to see how he explains it.
Yeah. All right. Just didn't know if it's been talked about. So
No, we haven't been much discussion about that at all.
So are you still sipping on your beverage?
Hell yeah, I am. Makers 46 tonight, bro.
Nice. Had a couple of I guess Good People Brewing muchachos.
Oh, those
at
are
the,
delicious.
Mama Goldberg's earlier today.
Those go down really easy, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite one they got on tap there. So
Yeah,
usually
that's
hit that one on thatch when I get down there for a game. So
no doubt.
all right, man. I just want to holler at you, man.
All right.
Enjoy the show, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro. See you, Scotty.
All right, man.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Glad we got Scotty in there. I have to admit, I'm a little bit confused because I know a Scotty B and I know a Scotty P, and I couldn't tell which one it was. I just can't remember where they are. I think, hold on, Scotty B is for sure. I know for sure he's in Tennessee. And then Scotty P, I thought was in Birmingham, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of that time of the night. I'm probably going to wrap it up, though. Chris says, keep it rolling. JG's getting loose. That is true, but we don't have a lot of calls coming in, man. We're 2.5 hours. No, we're 2 hours and 35 minutes into this now. I mean, come on. At some point, you just had enough. I get it. It's a huge win for Auburn, though. No doubt. So we're going to wrap it up there. We'll let Scotty go as our last call. Appreciate you guys being part of what we do here at auburnsports.com. If you're not a subscriber, check us out, auburnsports.com. The stuff that I'm doing, but more importantly, the stuff that B-Matt's doing, that Nate King's doing, that Jeffrey Lee's doing there at the site, Robin Kahn doing all of our awesome photos. We couldn't do this without our subscribers, and we love you guys, and we appreciate it very much. If you're not a subscriber, you need to get on the train. And also, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Just hit that subscribe button. It makes me happier to know that we have more subscriptions. There was a time, I want to say in early August, we were at like 600 subscribers. And as of my last calculation, which was on September 26th, when the hell was that? Oh my God, 3 days ago. We were approaching 2,500. So we're doing great. But we can always use more. I'm just saying. Phil says, give me that plug, JGT. Of course, man. I shouted you out earlier, bro. Steven says, I just found this show tonight, but I'll definitely be back next week. All right, we'll be here. You're welcome to come back, Steven. We'll be here. Strad says, how is Makers too harsh? Isn't that what they are not? Oh, what they were known for. Yeah, I guess you're right. When I was a young man in Kentucky, that was just kind of like the default beverage because I was going to school in Kentucky and I didn't want to drink Tennessee shit, so I just drank Kentucky shit, which at that point was really like Kentucky Gentleman, Old Forester, KT, Kentucky Tavern, Maker's Mark, and I'm missing someone. Oh, Jim Beam. And I never really was into Jim Beam. Much prefer the other stuff. And Maker's just rough, but that's just part of it. All right, guys. Appreciate you being part of the show. We'll be back after the Florida game. Again, that's 2:30 on CBS, so we'll probably be back on the air around, 7 o'clock, something like that, after the game against the Gators in Gainesville. We also do a podcast on Tuesdays, live from Voodoo Wing Company, and then we do another one on Friday, so check us out there as well. If you guys are subscribers to auburnsports.com, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And again, if you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, hop on there and just smash that subscribe button. You're good. It's all good. It doesn't cost you anything. It just makes you more awesome. All right, guys, I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Peace.